Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm
Mute
like, man.
yourself. So I actually did that. I
Yeah, me
followed
too. I'm like,
your.
man, it's extra quiet. I don't even hear Thrifty. Usually I hear him when he's talking.
Yeah, you said mute yourself. So I did that. I just didn't follow what you said.
All right, yeah, just follow instructions. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm mute now.
Yeah, it's over. So I figured, okay, I'll mute.
You never thought that I'd be the one to take care of myself. Well, I'll show you what I'm made of. I've got my armor on me, your tongue still cuts me up, but I won't stand here and take it anymore. I just gotta say, I won't let it get away. You're just fighting words. Those were fighting words. This is war.
What is going on, everybody? I gotta work on that, like, fading out of the music. But we are here. We are live. We have some guests tonight. So, super excited about that. Really excited about everything that's kind of gone on this week. We are 7 subscribers away. If you are not subscribed, now is one hell of a time to do so. My birthday is in 12 days, and so that's less. I need less than one, or I need less than one subscriber per day. Yeah, that's right. And so, like, help me get me there. I'd super appreciate it. Um, Tonight we have, I swear to goodness, Xbox couldn't let Sony have the failure stick for more than 24 hours. Xbox had such a good chance to not look like a bunch of buffoons, and Sony was just getting beaten to death. But as it turns out, Xbox wanted to win at something. So they went ahead and one upped Sony this week by closing 4 more studios. And now people are calling for Phil Spencer's job. But we are going to discuss whose fault it actually is. Is it Phil Spencer's? Is it Nutella? Is it Bill Gates? Like, whose problem is this? Whose fault is this? Is it Matt Booty? Was the coffee not strong enough? Like, whose fault? And at the end of that conversation, it might be Phil Spencer, and he might need to be fired, or he might just need to quit. Uh, the PlayStation Showcase is coming supposedly next week or the week after. Hope it's not next week because I'm on call next week, but we will also be discussing that. And then, as it says on there, Perfect Dark is still in darkness. And so it's in utter darkness from what some of the reports are saying. Also, did Sony bend the knee to PC or did Sony get bent over? We're gonna kind of discuss that to see, just to kind of dive into that more because the news happened. I did the thoughts with Thrifty, and then everything got resolved like 8 minutes or 7 minutes after the show, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Glad I was able to hop in there and get some of that quote unquote engagement. And so, anyways, those are the topics for tonight. This is going to be kind of a bit of a victory lap. I got some stuff set up for y'all from the interview that Phil Spencer did last year. Got some timestamps, some things I want to go over. But with that being said, guys, get ready to scream as loud as you want. Talk amongst yourselves, talk with us, talk about games, talk about what's going on in the world of gaming, and welcome to the playground. With that, let's start with our introductions. I have, starting with Henry Heck. If you're looking on your screen, he is number one at the top on your screen and number one in your hearts. Henry Heck. He has a YouTube channel. It is in the description below. How the heck are you, Henry? Hello, Henry.
What's up, good people? I'm good. I'm
Hey.
good. I'm good. I just unmuted, you know. But yeah, I'm pretty good, man. I'm glad to be on the show finally.
Hey,
And
man. I'm glad. I've watched a couple of your videos. I haven't watched any of the ones that you've done over the topics for tonight because I want to catch your opinions right in the moment. I don't want to have, in case I have a rebuttal, I want to have that kind of in the moment. So I haven't watched them yet. But guys, he's released like 5 videos or 4 videos over the past few days. But Henry, at the end of the day, we are a gaming channel. We are all gamers here. What was one of the things, or what was that moment when you realized like, oh crap, I'm playing game X. This has me and I am hooked. What game was that?
if I had to pick one, I say Ocarina of Time.
Ooh,
That
N64.
game, yeah, that was the first game I ever stayed up all night playing, and I had legitimate hallucinations the next day at my grandma's house. I never forget it. I never forget it. If I had to pick, that'd be the game.
That's awesome, man. Is that the system that got you into gaming, or were you gaming
No,
before that?
sir. No, sir. I was gaming before. OG Nintendo, Sega Genesis, playing, Charcan, X-Men, Sonic and Knuckles, of course, Excite Bike, Ninja Turtles, the first Metal Gear Solid. I played a lot of games, but if I had to pick one that really like took hold of me, it was Ocarina of Time.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what are you playing right now? I know that that you like your shooters and stuff like that. So are you bouncing between those, or are you still playing Stellar Blade? Like, what games are you playing right now?
Actually, right now I'm only playing Stellar Blade. Me and Will, I think it was last week or week before last, we was playing Remnant 2. Awesome game, amazing game. If you ain't played it, go play it. We was playing the second DLC, and but right now it's just strictly Stellar Blade. That's all my attention, all my gaming attention is on that game right
How far have you gotten in it?
there. I'm at the well, this shouldn't be a spoiler, but the unidentified Natiba boss fight.
Okay.
The that's the in the beginning of the game, the Natiba that you come across that cut Taki arm off and start the whole thing up. That's the boss I'm on right now.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I just have almost finished the Wastelands. And yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I have almost all of my skill trees maxed out to how far they can go. I've done, I think I have one quest left, and it's to go pick up the barber's tools. Uh, but after that, I think I'm done in that area, at least for now. And so, man, that game is freaking awesome. I'm finally getting the parries down. Probably going to bump up the difficulty here in a little bit because I've been playing on story until I got the feel of it. Because I'm a wuss. I'm not a real gamer, guys. I play stuff on story mode. It's so freaking terrible. Um, but man,
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing
ain't
wrong with that at
not a
all. And
damn
it's
thing. I
also
paid for that shit. If I want to
exactly.
put ice in a $300 shot of whiskey, guess what? That's my $300 shot of whiskey. I can do with it what the hell I please.
That's
So,
a fact. That's a fact.
anyways, sorry. I'm also in a whiskey, or used to be in a whiskey TikTok community, and man, you wanted to piss off some of the purebreds out there. You just tell them, hey, I put ice in my whiskey. Here's a $200 bottle of bourbon. Let me go ahead and put some ice in it. It was so freaking hilarious. Anyways, the other guest that we have, kind of a spur of the moment, just jumped in, said he had some thoughts, and so he gets to do the interview process as well. Tornado Screw, what's going on, man? How are you? Tornado, did you mute yourself? Did you fall asleep? All right, let's go down to Will. What's up, Will? How are you, man?
What up, Thrifty? What up, Henry and Tornado? If you're still awake, what up, man?
Dude, Tornado woke up mid-morning, said, "Oh my God, Thrifty show! I want to be on," and then passed right back out. We'll catch him again in a couple hours when he wakes
Uh,
up.
Maybe he probably muted himself or went bathroom or something.
I
Either
know.
way, I'm good, man. I beat Stellar Blade on Sunday. Yep, Sunday. I got me and RPG. Shout out RPG. He wanted to ask me some questions about the end
Oh,
game,
shit.
and
Um,
he told me. I told him where I was. He told me it'd be about another 48 hours, and I guessed I'd be done by Saturday night. But I did not include in that guesstimation all the exploration I was doing, so it actually took me until Sunday. But great game, amazing game. I almost this would have been the second game where I would have jumped in to replay it right away with the new game plus, but only reason I didn't is because I wanted to let the game breathe a little bit, especially with that ending and the story and how it all worked out. But I've been playing the last few days. I've been juggling a few games. I've been playing Nier Replicant, Immortals of Aveum, doing a second game playthrough of that. I beat it when it came out last year in August, and I've also been playing some Killzone Shadowfall. But besides, oh, and shout out to Nelson, Dead Island 2. We've been doing co-ops on that. So if you guys want to see us play, he always streams it on Sunday nights.
Yeah, sorry, I was thinking we have bad weather coming through, so I'm just watching the radar, making sure it's not getting too
Whoa,
terrible out there.
meteorologist.
Dude, I have to, man. It's an anxiety thing for me. I got to make sure that my kids and my family are taken care of. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna pass on from that. Stellar Blade is absolutely a phenomenal freaking game. It's earned every bit of the 9.3 that the user score is given it on Metacritic. Excuse me. Let me say hello to some people in the chat. Holy crap, there's a ton of y'all already. What's up, Outsider
okay.
Gaming Night?
So,
Nick, Toolman, Michael, who? Henry. Hey, we've already said hi to Henry. Will
yeah,
triple
I'm here. I'm
seven.
here. Technical problems on my end sorted.
Hey, Tornado, what's going
Yes,
on,
yes.
man?
I didn't fall asleep. I didn't fall asleep. Just
Okay.
saying. My headset just cut off. I don't know. It does that on my PS5 as well. I still have to figure that out why that happens. But that's okay.
That's why I got rid of my Turtle Beach because they kept cutting in and out, and then sometimes they wouldn't work. So that's when I finally got the Arctis. And people in the chat were about to like slaughter me because they hated the mic because it was terrible. Anyways, so Tornado, real briefly,
Yes.
uh, what got you
Yeah,
into
yeah.
gaming, dude? Like, what? How long have you been gaming, and
Um,
do you have that one game that you were like, holy crap? For me, I had like a lot of them. I have a lot of like games where I can look back and go, oh crap, these games, I was a gamer when I was playing those. Absolutely. Mike Tyson Punch Out. Absolutely. Bad Dudes. Um,
the
Contra.
path to that is,
Like
yeah.
all of those games. But the game that like made me into a gamer was Final Fantasy VII. And so like, what game or is there a game that kind of did that for you?
Yeah, we have to go a little bit further back into time, though. And it wasn't a direct path towards that team that I supported still to this day dearly in my heart, though. Heck, I used to play games on the Atari 2600 from someone else, right? I see the Commodore 64. Then I had my own home computer. What clicked for me was Sonic the Hedgehog on the Master System. And I'm talking about the Master System 2 from 1986. That's where it clicked for me. What I found so interesting is the way how the sprites moved and speed of the character itself. That's what captivated me. And then later on, I found out their arcade stuff as well. Like Outrun, Space Harrier. What was the other game that I also wanted to see? Um, they had like this arcade cabinet, with the Afterburner. Yeah, that's the one with the flying, with the airplanes.
Uh-huh.
Man, that was fucking fantastic. And at the time, 3D wasn't a thing, but it moved and flied as like, man, you were almost there in that airplane. I can remember that really well, man. Fucking hell. So for me, that was the moment when it clicked. There was something for me, and like I said, it still holds a place in my heart. Though Sega is the one that showed what gameplay was all about. It had to be fun, fast, and it had to be something like based off of real life stuff.
Yeah,
At least that's how it felt to me. And
the
especially with
arcade.
Hang On, yeah, Super Hang On, also with the motorbike, man, that was fantastic.
So you mentioned the arcade stuff, and man, we
Yeah,
used to have this. So back when the PS1 came out, Tekken 3 had come out for the
yeah,
PS1,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they
I
had
remember I've seen that
Tekken.
also in arcades. Eh? Yeah,
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 they
yeah,
had Tekken 3
yeah, yeah.
machines, and my brother
I
and
actually
I.
played on one. Hey, it
Oh
was
my
vastly different
goodness.
than the PS1 though, but you could tell arcade hardware was always, I'd say, a couple of steps ahead of what you had at home, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was,
Except,
I'd say, when Tekken 3 came out, I'd say that that was pretty much the beginning, and that's sadly for me. I was an arcade goer though. I don't want to steal too much of your time on the show. But needless to say, I was a lot in the arcades, man. Heck, I even played X-Men versus Street Fighter back in the day in the arcades, and all the kind of
yes.
2D stuff that they had, man. My God, it was fantastic.
God, I lost
But
so many quarters at
unfortunately,
Aladdin's Palace.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But unfortunately, when PS1 and Saturn and that era, came by, arcades were kind of dying, unfortunately, and I kind of experienced that as well. It's sad to say, but at least the memories that I have and the quarters that I dumped in it, at least I had fun with it. And I always have those memories, and some of those games I have as an X-Men versus Street Fighter being an example. Heck, even Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, I have them on the Saturn. So at least I have that memory at home.
yeah.
Despite being that the arcade is pretty much dead. So
It's yeah.
that's where it clicked for me, pretty much. Sonic. Yeah.
No, you're fine. That's really cool. That's on the Master System. Good God.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
man, gaming has definitely come a long way. So,
It's come a long way, I'd say. And I always say, and that's what I always argue, if we hadn't had 2D, we wouldn't have what we have today. Always be grateful for that, I always say.
yeah, it's so Will actually hits on that quite a bit that, that child that we all were when we were playing these games, we're getting to play the games that we dreamed of back then now.
Yep.
And so it's really awesome. Let me greet some of these people here again. Let me finish that off.
Sure,
I already
sure.
got Nick, Michael, Outsider, Will, you're in the panel, Toolman, Josh, what's up, man? Chimp Thoughts, how are you, dude? Nick, I'm a fake gamer. Me too, bro. Me too. Maddie Beast, thanks for stopping by. We got more Josh, RPG88, calling out for Tornado, and he came back. Perfect. What's up, Nelson?
Yep.
All right. That is everybody who has mentioned something right now. Yes, thank you. Hit the like. Um, holy crap. Yeah. Hey, RPG88, if you're in the area that you live and it is in the tornado area, you may want to be careful, sir. That's holy crap. I just looked at the radar again. My bad, guys. Anyways,
Yeah, no
we
worries, no worries.
we are here for a show, and that is what we are going to have. All right. So, let me bring this over here because I have some stuff from last year that I just want to let y'all listen to. If you can't hear it in the Discord, I promise, I swear, I don't know how to make that happen. We're just going to hope that it does. So, this clip right here, it is the first clip that I want y'all to see. And, you know, it's there's three things I'm going to point out in this. One of them is at the very beginning. Now, this is the kind of funny XCast interview with Phil Spencer from a year ago. Okay?
Oh, I remember that one.
This is the Redfall
Yeah.
one. This is the Bethesda one. This is the Just Make Great Games one. This is all of
Yeah, the
that.
Starfield one. Haha.
This was
I
the one
remember
where
that
I
one.
said it sounded like a concession speech. It sounded like we suck, we're dead, and we're done. And I got told by people on the internet that I was crazy with how far I was taking it. So let's just listen to this because Phil Spencer says two lies and a truth in here. I don't know if y'all have ever played that game, But there's a game that's called Two Lies and a Truth. You give somebody two lies and a truth, and they have to figure out what the truth is. And so let's listen to the first lie. Here we go. It starts at 5:48 if you're following along.
Um, there's nothing that's more difficult for me than disappointing the Xbox community. I've been a part of it.
Okay, so that's the first lie, that there's nothing there's nothing that is more or that's harder for him than disappointing the Xbox community. So there's your first lie, because that's all he's done since the dude has been in power, position, whatever the heck you want to call it. And then here's
Mind
the
you, since 2014, eh? Just saying.
2014. So let's go
Yep.
to this next one real quick. And
When a team like
Yep.
Obsidian wants to do
There you go.
Grounded, when Tango wants to go do Hi-Fi, when everybody probably thought they were doing Within 3.
Okay, so that's where he said that he supports studios doing creative things and he wants them to be creative, like when Obsidian goes and does their thing, and when Tango Gameworks says, no, we don't really want to work on the Evil Dead, we want to work on this, and he's like, listen, we support that, we want that, that's what we need to grow and what we need to do. So that's his second lie. That's his second lie, and he mentioned Hi-Fi Rush directly. And then here is the truth. It's at the very end. It's at 37:04 is the minute mark. And let's listen to this real quick.
A ton in our platform, but we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that
What
if
do you
you
see?
just build great games,
Oh, what'd you say? Hang on.
everything. And I see it out there. I see commentary
Hang on.
that if you just build great games, everything would turn around.
Oh, wait.
For us as a team, that's on us, not on anybody else.
Hang on.
Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform.
Okay, so three
But we are
lies.
not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games,
Oh, okay. So it's if you just build great games,
everything would turn around.
that everything would turn around. So that's false. So there is his one true statement, that if they just built great games, that everything is fine. So Xbox shut down 4 studios. One of which, actually, I'm sorry, let's be fair. Microsoft shut down 4 studios. That's why in the description on here, it does say that Microsoft shuts down 4 studios. But they shut down these 4 studios, and one of them did make an arguably great game. I've never played it. I've never had any desire to play it. But from what I hear and from what we've heard, it's a fantastic game. It won freaking awards. And so the one truth that Phil Spencer did say is that, hey, listen, making great games, that's not going to matter anymore. It's all about what we can sell, what we can market. The higher the budget, the higher the production, the better it's going to be, all that other shit. And so you had back then 3 truths or 3 lies and a truth. You had he hates disappointing fans. I don't buy that shit. He's been doing it for a long time. You have that they wanted to give Hi-Fi Rush, they wanted to give studios like Tango Gameworks and Obsidian freedom to be creative and to work within these ideas, even if they're not that successful. Dude, perfect. That sounds great. That's a lie. You just shut down that fucking studio. Also, you shut down Arcane Austin. You know, the guys that you forced into making a game that they didn't really want to make. Okay, continue. And then they're saying if you just make great games, it's not going to change anything. Now, yes, I'm being a bit liberal with that right there, because that's in the context of winning the console war or having people go out and buy an Xbox over a PS5 or sell their PS5. So I understand that. But if we take this as what I thought it was from the very beginning, which was a concession speech, listen, we suck. We know we suck. We've sucked for a long time, and there's not much we can really do about it. And so that was the first sign of them waving the white flag and saying, "Hey guys, we're done." And so that's kind of where we started this whole thing of me thinking that they're going to go third party, of not just me. Guys, I said it in the lobby earlier with when everybody was just talking. But like, it's not just me. I didn't ground break this idea. There's a few things that I did say before I heard anybody else say them, and when I said them, I got told I was nuts, like Xbox was going to go full third party. They haven't gone there yet, but they're on the right track to, and stuff like that. I said that. I said they were. I think we all said that they were going to raise the price of Game Pass once ABK got purchased, and hey, guess what? Now there's a rumor they're thinking about raising Game Pass. So if they're trying to kill their fan base, they're doing a pretty bang up job of it. And at this point, last year when Starfield came out and it wasn't just the end all be all game of the generation, last year I ended up thinking that, they need two hits in a row. Two. They need two good hits in a row. And I'm not talking massive successes. I'm talking about mid to high 80s where the game is consistent, it runs good and it looks good. Like that's what they need. Now they need a fucking reboot or something. Like they need a new console, they need a new head, they need a new president. They need lots of things now for people to get their goodwill back or give their goodwill back to them. Because they have taken that goodwill and said, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and take a leak all over it. We're just going to drop trowel and piss all over the goodwill that we have. You have content creators, even more than before, saying, hey, we're done with Xbox. This is ridiculous. If you wanted to kill the brand, good job. Xbox is officially dead. I saw Crap Gamer actually say that Xbox is terrible and Phil Spencer is not doing a good job. Like, I actually heard him say something negative against Xbox. Like, that in and of itself made me look up to the heavens and see if Jesus was coming back. Like, that's some crazy stuff. You have all of these people in the Xbox camp finally realizing what we have all been saying for over a year now. If the ABK deal went through, you are now a third-party publisher mainly. And I just took that a step further that no, they're going to be a third-party publisher. Fully. Why do you need to focus on games that have a high marketability? Well, maybe you're going to market it to more people. Huh. Okay. Maybe, just maybe. And I could be wrong, guys. I've had people comment afterwards on some of my videos that, oh, Thrifty never admits when he's wrong. That's horseshit. I cover my bases on the front end. I could be wrong. Very simply. And if I am, I'll admit that, shit, I was wrong. Up to this point, I haven't been wrong a lot on this type of stuff. You can argue my game scores with me. You can argue what I feel about certain genres or certain games. Sure, I'm not perfect. Will rake me through the coals all the time on certain games that I don't like or don't play. And that's okay. But when it comes to this crap, I have a pretty good pulse on reading logical things into situations, and so does Will.
That's very true.
All you have to do is use freaking logic. That's it.
Seriously, are we geniuses?
Oh, and
I
follow the
don't
numbers.
know.
It's also
And follow the numbers. The CFO comes out and says, they're not our enemy anymore. Wait, what?
We are working men, Thrifty. Like, you're HVAC dude. I'm a manager. Like, if we were the geniuses in order to figure this out, we would not be doing our jobs. We'd be, designing rockets for NASA or something. But
Right.
we're not.
We're not. No, we are the working class. And so, but when they come out and when they did that, or when Phil Spencer did that interview with Kinda Funny, I thought that interview was the most telling interview that he did last year outside of the cover-up one that they did after the CFO Tim Stewart spoke up and was like, "Hey, we want our games everywhere. We don't view them as competition anymore." And Phil Spencer had to be going, "What the hell? Wait, dude, come on, man." So they shut
Can
down
you kind
four
of spoke his
studios.
mouth a little bit past by accident? Eh? He kind of gave us a sight to the plans what were going to happen, and it
Kinda.
is going to happen. Eh? Keep that in mind.
So, Henry, I have not seen a single one of your videos, and I did that on purpose. Like I said, I wanted to be able to get your thoughts and opinions fresh to me. And so they shut down these four studios, one of one of which kind of makes sense. I'm not sure if Arcane Austin didn't want to be shut down, like because there was no love lost between Arcane Austin and Phil Spencer at all. If y'all
Hmm.
remember, there was that back and forth when Redfall first got released.
Wait. Wasn't Arcane responsible for Redfall?
Yeah. That was them.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So Henry, what is your thoughts on just the closing of the four studios? What do you make of it?
Um, well, pretty much they dropped the ball. They showed up, had everybody excited, and walked on the stage. They were happy to have a Japanese studio, and then they turn around and do this. As far as Arcane goes, I feel as though everybody can't hit a home run every time. You know what I mean? And not only can everybody not hit a home run, they didn't want to make this game anyway. They were made to make this game. And so of course if you working on a project, you don't really want to work on it, your heart ain't really gonna be into it. Everything before they came out with Arcane don't miss. And you put them on a project they don't really want to build and it's not good, I don't feel like you should shut that shut that studio down, send those people home. Everybody's allowed to make a mistake here or there, and their track record been pretty good. You know what I mean? They not making game of the year games. They not making game of the generation games. They make great games that people enjoy. You know what I mean? They've been alive this long. They got fans. People love Dishonored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a real bad look, and feel like somebody said in the chat, Phil Spencer, the Joe Biden of gaming. He talks, he
So
talks,
Yeah.
Oh man.
who said
he
Who
talks
that?
said that? I
very.
gotta give him a high five. Whoever
Who
said that
who
shit.
said that? That's some funny shit. Who said that?
I
God
seen it.
damn.
It was pretty funny. He talks very much like a politician. They make all these grandiose promises, but
Yeah.
then when it come down to doing the work, they don't do nothing. It's excuse after excuse, and we hear you. That's the video game version. You know what I mean? We hear you, but like you can't keep showing up lying to the people, and that's all he been doing the whole gen since this gen first started. It was what was it? Eat monsters for breakfast, all this other nonsense.
we
The only
we haven't
thing
even railroaded him for that shit in a while, but yeah, go ahead.
I'm telling you, the only thing Xbox is eating for breakfast is these gaming studios. They
Oh,
suck up all this
Facts.
talent.
oh,
They suck up all these IPs
damn.
and don't do nothing with them. Now these
Yeah.
studios closed. Xbox got all these IPs and watch them not do anything with them. They're not gonna do nothing with none of these IPs. They're just gonna sit there in the vault being wasted.
Can
And
I
it,
add
it's
something
it's
to that?
it's a damn shame. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Not trying to steal any of your light, but what you say,
No, no,
it
no. Go
it it,
ahead. Go ahead.
it kind of adds to what people were saying. Basically, what they're trying to do, at least that's from my perspective, they're trying to buy up everything, kind of like in a consolidation fashion. And like you said, those IPs, they bought those studios, they're closing them down, and they're not doing anything with the IP. And you have to wonder what are they doing now? Maybe looking at the next best thing that they're going to buy up and pretty much fold out. It's almost like they're buying it to kind of run the competition into the ground because they got money to spend, and the competition doesn't have that. They're not trillion-dollar companies. Um, that's how it feels to me. But that's what I wanted to add to that.
Yeah. So my the thing that's baffling me, and Will, you can jump in whenever you want, man. The thing that's baffling me is that Tango Gameworks was in the middle of putting a pitch together and like designing fucking Hi-Fi Rush. Like, I can't tell you how bad I want another like I really want another developer or another publisher to go over to the guys at Tango and go, hey, listen, to be fair, out of the four studios that got canned, y'all were probably the one that was the most promising, at least right now. So why don't y'all come work for us? And then they can make like Lo-Fi Bush or whatever. Because they can't make another Hi-Fi Rush because Microsoft owns that IP. But like, there has to be something that can be done for those guys over there because at least what they made was creative. At least it was good. At least people enjoyed it. Will, what do you think, man?
Yeah, man, Game of the Year nominee, Hi-Fi Rush 2023.
Yeah.
I tweeted about this yesterday. I said if Hi-Fi Rush, or I'm sorry, I said if Microsoft is closing down Tango, which is pretty much the only studio besides Bethesda producing anything over there, what does that say about everybody else? you know and the reason I laugh so much about the whole, they're like Biden of gaming, politicians basically, is that there are way more, and of course I don't want nobody to lose their jobs or anything like that, but there are more deserving studios of closing down than somebody like Tango, somebody like Arcane, right? They were put in positions to fail. And when the oh, I forget his name, but the main guy at Tango that left recently, I mean, we
Shinji
all knew this
Mikami.
was, yep, we all
Yeah,
knew what
man
was going to
behind Resident
happen.
Evil.
Absolutely. We all knew what was going to happen. This isn't the first time. We saw that with Holly. We saw that with, I mean, just name it. Almost every studio, even Hellblade, every studio that
Oh yeah,
Xbox
the
has
guy that left.
purchased
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
has had major management shakeups every single time. And it's known. Look, in every industry there is some sort of industry insider information, right? Like for my
Mm.
industry, I know that there's certain locations that I would never want to go work for because management is shitty, employees is shitty, the product is shitty, just the way they do things is ass backwards. The customer wouldn't know. The customer may go in there and just be like, oh yeah, this is a little bit more waiting time than when I go to this other location, but hey, I still get what I get. But us in the industry, we know that their product is complete shit, right? That insider conversation is in every industry. So if we the
Oh,
gamer now
100%.
know the quote unquote insider information on how shitty it is working for Xbox, just imagine how bad things really are, right? Just imagine how bad things are that their insider information about how they do things has gotten to general population, to the consumer, and we know more about the dirt than they think we do. And now it's just showing itself. And I posted this on our Discord yesterday, which if you guys aren't in there, please hop on in there. But I posted the picture or the link with Matty Plays video that he did yesterday, which I highly recommend you guys go watch it. Now, I like watching Matty's videos. I think he's a smart dude. He's a very passionate gamer. He does this whole reach retro thing, which I also like. But yesterday was unique in regards to the four studio closings because Matty was pissed, right? I mean, he dropped more F bombs than I've ever heard in the history of me watching YouTube for 10 years, following his channel close to 3, 4 years. Never have I seen something like that. And I'm scrolling through the comments and I'm seeing the same shit, right? Guys bitching and complaining, talking about Tango and Arcane and the other two, which one of the other one's like Dog something, and I forgot the fourth one.
Alpha Dog Games.
Alpha Dog Games, and the fourth one I forget the name. But a lot of people are in there agreeing with Maddie and basically saying the same shit that we're talking about now, except a couple. A couple were just defending it. right? Which blew everybody's mind. But I would say more than 70% of the dudes talking crap were still saying stuff like, yeah, but PlayStation also did the same thing with Destiny where they bought them and now Destiny is laying people off. They just cannot get with the program. They equate Xbox failure with it being okay because other developers and publishers and companies are failing as well. So I said this on the comment, which I'll read it off real quick. But I said here, so y'all sitting here arguing about Sony and Bungie to make yourselves feel better that Xbox is not the only one messing up. Wake the hell up. Because of this shit, look where Xbox is. If y'all would have been vocal years ago, who knows what Xbox would have done? You all kept defending every issue. Now that snowflake-sized problem you defended because Sony bad has gathered with other snowflake-sized problems and it has become a huge ass snowball rolling down the mountain, getting bigger by the second, about to crash and destroy your favorite IP, your favorite developer, your favorite console. Mobile and streaming will be their priority. Hell, Xbox does not even sell physical games anymore. That
Fact.
last line, Xbox doesn't even sell physical games
Yeah,
anymore.
I see the
Nobody
stores
has
where I
been
live. Yeah.
Dude, nobody has been talking about that crap. The only physical games we have gotten from Xbox recently, which was Grounded, which by the way you'll get in 6 months because it's through limited run games. Nobody has been talking about that. Redfall, another thing people haven't really been talking about. Now that Arcane is shut down, no more updates. The game is an online game only. So if you have no internet access, you will not be able to play Redfall. Now, you guys know I'm a huge physical guy. What does that do to preservation? Redfall has as much, to be remembered as any other game, good or bad. But this is where Xbox is at now, where the top studio that has been producing games, Ghostwire Tokyo, which I actually like, Hi-Fi Rush, which is Game of the Year contender, they let go. But then you have 343 has failed miserably. And I just told the Discord this yesterday, I believe it was, where not even your hardcore Halo YouTubers that their channel is solely based on Halo, they're gone. They've disappeared. They have
Mm-hmm.
switched to different topics, different subjects,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
different games. These
Facts.
guys have been talking about Halo for 20 years.
And
Yeah,
I
a
say the
lot of
20.
biggest
your
one.
D4 players and D4
Yeah.
channels have also up and just said no.
Will might
No.
know this one. The biggest Halo channel that I know is the guy with the glasses on, Actman.
Oh, Ackman.
He,
Yes.
yeah, he was one of the biggest ones. He pivoted
Yeah.
heavily.
Yeah.
He pivoted heavily.
And think about how that does to what that does to the gamer, right? Like especially with something like Halo, man. Halo really is what set Xbox apart, the very first console. Then
Yep.
Halo 2 came out, Halo 3 for the 360.
Halo
Just
almost
the
got me to
the
buy an Xbox 360. I'm telling you. Halo is the
dude,
reason because all of the kids at the playground were talking about the fucking Halo games, and they
dude,
had sticky grenades, and like they would all tell stories of how they were at a friend's house and somebody from halfway across the map threw a goddamn sticky grenade and it stuck on
Yeah,
them and they
yeah.
blew up and like
Facts.
I wanted to play that shit so bad that I almost got rid of my PS3 for an Xbox One. I was
dude,
so close.
I didn't know anything about Xbox. The only thing I knew about Xbox, this is how impactful Halo was. The only thing I knew about Xbox was that it was black and green and a game called Halo, which you can only play on Xbox.
Which was also
That was
black and
all
green.
I knew, which was also black and green. But what Xbox has done here, which I think, by the way, I mean, we'll see, but if it goes the way that we've been predicting and it's been happening, I think the downfall of Xbox will be worse than the downfall of Sega. At least Sega to this day is
Ooh.
still making games. We can still play Sonic. I mean, shit, I just bought
Yeah.
Sonic Superstars in November, day one. I actually love that game. It takes me back to when I was, going to my buddy's house when I was 9 years old, just to like Tornado said, check out the
Yeah.
speed and
It was
collecting the
fantastic.
rings.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge Sonic person, like it's not my favorite thing, but it's nostalgia. And when I think of gaming, I think of Mario. I think of Sonic and games like that, right?
Yeah.
And this is just it goes above and beyond the financial. And the last thing I'll say about this, I'm sorry I'm taking up so much time.
No, you
The
good.
last thing I'll say about the studio closures is that the the other thing that I have a huge problem with this is something that I have a huge problem with corporate America, including my job. And the thing that frustrates me the most is that with Xbox it's a little bit different, right? Because their numbers just have been shit. They haven't been making money, so them closing studios is not something that is unexpected. You could have seen this coming just because they're not
Exactly.
producing
No
anything,
surprise there,
right?
indeed.
No surprise there. But on the flip side of it is, now this is more for the general, economy, capitalism. It's not that these companies are not making money. That's not the problem. They are making money. The problem is that they're not making the growth that they want to make. That is their problem. So instead of being okay with making, just as an example, 5 billion year over year, all profit, 10% increase, that's not enough for them. They want to be 20%. And that's what the problem is. And I think that's where the pressure it's on Xbox right now, where they're making illogical decisions of closing a company down like Tango. Now, I don't know the details, right? We've heard things like the employees that work at Tango now is Bear. They poached a lot of the employees. We've heard reports that that's not true, right? They're still there. But when you just look at the games, the engagement, we can't talk about sales because Xbox doesn't talk about that, and we know why. But the overall vibe, we all know that Tango shouldn't have been closed. We also know that Arcane shouldn't have been closed, all because of a game, like Thrifty said in the beginning, that they were forced to make, that they themselves said, let's just make it a single player game. But it got released early because Xbox doesn't know how to manage. Microsoft does not know how to manage. They
Game a
needed
quarter,
something
baby.
because in
Game a
2022,
quarter.
they didn't have
Yep.
not one release that whole damn year. Not one. Not one game they didn't release that whole year. So they got desperate.
I'm,
And now
I'm,
look what happened.
I want to add something to what Will is saying. Begs the question, and here it comes. When's the last time that they had a Game of the Year contender, folks?
Hi-Fi Rush. And they just shut the
Hi-Fi
Yeah,
damn
Rush.
okay,
studio
Hi-Fi
down.
Rush. But
Jeez.
before that, how long has it taken that they actually can say something in that line? They didn't had something like that for years.
And
For
they finally
years.
did, and they shut down
Decade,
the
bro.
studio. So
Exactly.
somebody in the chat,
That's how bad things are.
Michael in the chat posted this question. He said, "At Thrifty, is it possible that Microsoft is going to use all these IP by leasing out the property to studios that want to make a game for that particular IP?"
Hmm.
So, um, I'm going to let the panel kind of answer this one as well. But for me, I don't think I don't think that's necessarily where they're going to go, at least with their big IPs. They might do that with their smaller ones and maybe take on a studio, like enter into a not an exclusive deal, but yeah, kind of like an exclusive deal, like what Sony did with Insomniac, where Insomniac wasn't necessarily, and not necessarily, I'm sorry, it wasn't a PlayStation studio, but their catalog and the way everything looked, it was like PlayStation, 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 Xbox, PlayStation, 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 Xbox, like, or PC, sorry. And so, like, even though they weren't a PlayStation studio at the time, they very much operated and were associated with PlayStation. So, do I think Xbox could take some of these IPs, which would be dirty as hell? But, anyways, take some of these IPs that they have now yanked from these developers who have worked on them for the past several years, who were trying to build sequels and build new stories, and take and farm them out to other people just so they don't have to invest the cost in the development and it's just a licensing thing. Sure,
Hmm.
they could. But
I actually think they should. I think they should. I think that
wouldn't
if
that be dirty as
Xbox,
fuck though,
no,
bro?
dude, look at everything they've done.
I
No,
know, but
these IPs need to
you're
be
gonna
out
tell
there.
me letting somebody like oh hell, I don't know, game developer X, whoever the fuck they choose, and saying that, hey guys, these guys are going to make our sequel um, to Hi-Fi Rush, you think that will go over in the community?
It's not about the community anymore. That is done. They've fumbled it. They lost their opportunity. This is over for them. They need to sit back, be good little consumers, and take what they can get from Xbox. That's it. Their opinions are gone. Xbox is becoming third party. They closed down the best studio they had.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about what they think. That time to shine is gone. Gone with the
Yep.
wind. What Xbox
Yep.
has to do is
Right,
not
bro.
let these IPs go to fucking waste. They already spent $70 billion on the Activision deal while having a powerhouse of studios. They are
Yep.
just going everything go to waste. So why continue to let these IPs go to waste? No, if somebody wants to do a Hi-Fi Rush 2 or a Banjo and Kazooie or any other fucking game that they have, let them. Let the gamers enjoy the IP. Because let's say they don't, right? I'm sorry, I'm yelling. I don't know why I'm yelling. But let's
That's
just
some
say
passion right
Xbox
there,
is
man.
is,
That's
is
passion. That
being
ain't
real
yelling.
petty, right? Because they're thinking, oh well, how is it gonna right all this bullshit? Well, okay, they do it themselves. They're gonna fuck it up. Xbox doesn't know how to make a good game. I'm not saying the developers are not good. No, they're best in the world at what they
I
do.
wanna I wanna add something to that, Will. See, the developers are not bad people. You're right in that respect, though. But I found something out with the Forza Studio, right? Turn 10. If you're contracting people, and I think that's something that might happen generally in all the other studios, perhaps. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying it from my perspective, what I'm reading. If Forza Motorsport has been suffering a development cycle for 6 years, and they've been using contractors for every 18 months,
Yes.
something's got to give in the quality department. And here's something I'm going to quote. If someone was learning something in the studio, right, doing some sort of rendering technique and whatnot, and they finally got up to speed, like, hey, they figured it out, then they were let go, and then someone else comes in to take over that job. What do you think is going to happen? Definitely going to the quality at that point, be it some sort of kind of design on a track, or maybe some texturing on a car, or whatever you want to call it. It shows. I mean, look at Gran Turismo 7, and that's a cross-gen game, as an example. That game's been made by the same studio, by the same people for what is it now? 25 years, folks, 2.5 decades. Let that sink in for a minute. And these people have no problem in delivering a top quality notch car, and every goddamn detail that you can think of on the car, like the headlights, the bumpers, every goddamn thing, even to the fabric in the seats. How is that even possible? And like I said, this comes down to 18 months of people you're contracting them, and you're letting them go, and you're bringing not other people. It's something got to give, man. Your quality's going down. Jess said that, on Grinds My Gears. He said that many, many times,
Yeah.
and we're
No,
seeing it.
they need to be the good little publishers that they want to be. License these damn games. All
That
right.
might be
There's no
that might be
point.
for the best. That
Yeah,
might be
it
for the
is for
best.
the best. It's gonna
Yeah.
bring them money. They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna satisfy that urge of making money that they want. They're gonna get a fat ass check from whoever wants to develop these games. They're gonna get royalty, and it's also gonna build their name up again, because whoever makes this game is gonna do a hell of a good job, right? And they're like, oh, this is an Xbox IP, and that's how you're gonna start to rebuild if you want to rebuild. If you want to be known as the best publisher in the world, this is where you start right here. Give that IP to people that want to do it. And like Tornado said earlier, we want people working on these games that want to work on the game.
Yep.
And we talked about this in the show before, Thrifty, where there's a big it's very important, especially with creatives and people that are artists, because these developers are artists.
Yep.
It's the management, because an artist can sometimes get carried away with a game where they're outside the bounds, right? They're doing too much, and that's where good management comes in and reels them in a little bit, gets them back on track, gives them that motivation, like, hey, you're doing a great job, but we need to focus over here. Xbox is not capable of doing that. And like Tornado just said, they're used to contracting their employees anyways, so they can save the money on benefits. What's
Yep.
the difference between another company doing your shit anyways? At least we'll get a much better product. They have much better systems in place. And look, this is how you know it's
Will,
fucked up.
Will,
This
Will,
year,
Will, hang on. Let me
yeah,
let me let me counter that just real quick. licensed IP from a company that doesn't give two shits about the IP leads to really shitty games.
Hey, ho, ho, ho. There's
I
one example
like
that stands as a shining light that was fantastic. Eh? That's a licensed IP made by fans that actually love the IP.
the
Streets of
Superman
Rage
game on
4 being a
Xbox.
good example from Sega. Made by .emu.
What game?
Streets of Rage 4. That's an IP that's from Sega, right?
Yeah,
They
yes,
made it.
yep.
But that's just an example that I'm giving. So it can be done, but you have to have some passionate people behind it, though,
Yes, but
that are willing to
.emu
make it.
proved that they gave a shit, and
Exactly.
Sega
Facts.
trusted them to give a shit. The problem is,
Exactly.
I'm worried that we're going to get games like Superman. Like, I don't know
Oh
if anybody
man.
remembers the Superman game that was on the
Oof.
Xbox. That game was
Yeah.
dog shit. Like,
Ouch.
it was
Me too.
terrible, but it was a licensed IP. Or how about the Hulk
Yeah.
games? Not the one that was good, the one
Oh
that was bad. There
man.
were two that came out, and one of them was halfway decent, and one of them was terrible. And I can't
Yeah, but
remember
that's why
which
I
one was
said
which.
My
somebody
God.
who wants to do it. If somebody's gonna go after the
Yeah.
licensing for a game, that means that they want to do it. I'm not saying just assign people. No, I'm saying if somebody comes to your door with the opportunity saying, "Hey, I want to license this IP. We want to make this game." Do it. Now, I'm not saying go, hey, call 100, studios and see who wants to make it. No, but if the opportunity arises, do it. It's only going to benefit you. They're going to do a good job because they want to license it, they want to do it. And secondly, you don't have the time, you don't have the manpower, and you definitely don't want to invest in it. We with these layoffs, we know, and that's what I was going to say, and then I'll give it back. This year, where the Xbox showcase, every year Xbox has like behind the scenes kind of deal where the journalists and YouTubers of high followings, they'll get to preview some sort of game that Xbox is working on, right? This year, guess what game this is going to be? Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the game that these journalists are going to go in to check out. What
Problem.
does that tell you? They laid off the people that are making AA games, that are making games in general, and then they're going to let you showcase a game that was already being made before you even bought them. That comes out every single year, and there will be nothing new except maybe a couple added benefits, a couple new skins. Come on, guys, wake up.
Henry, what
Well,
do you think,
I
man?
To be honest, man, in light of what's happened recently, as of the last couple of days, I don't think that licensing stuff gonna work. Cause who really is gonna be chomping at the bit to go to Xbox and work with them to make any of these
A
games?
Prey
They're
2?
not gonna do it. They're not
I
gonna
have
do
to
that.
agree with Henry. I have to agree with
I
Henry.
think Xbox best bet as far as these. Well, I won't say their
So
best bet.
so the gamers don't
I
want their shit and developers don't want their shit. Go ahead,
I'm
Henry.
like,
I'm
bro, I'm
sorry.
not.
Go
If
ahead.
if I'm a developer, I'm not gonna go to Microsoft, Xbox to be a nothing for them. I'm not finna use none of that. You could sell me the IP. Now that they could do that, they could sell the IP off. But as far as like licensing and all this other, like, nah, bro, I'm gonna go to PlayStation. I'd rather go make a Jack and Daxter. That's what I'd rather
And
go
Mm.
do.
and I think that some
Yeah,
of them even would rather want to work with Nintendo at that point.
yeah. Like, it's plenty of other places you can go where they respect your work, allow
Yep.
you to be creative. Not like the contracts, to the 18-month contract. Like when you go work on a job, you get a new job. You spend a couple of days training. You get your training in. After a few weeks, a couple of months, you start developing a technique. It's what Tornado was talking about with Gran Turismo. They got a
Yep.
technique down.
Yep.
By the time these
25
people
years of
develop,
experience, my guy.
by the time
And
they
it's the
develop
same
their
people, eh?
technique,
Yep.
yeah. By the time you develop your technique, they sending you to the house. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And they get somebody. Ain't
Yep.
nobody finna rush to go. Folks will love another Banjo Kazooie. Who would run over there to make a Banjo Kazooie? Not me. Why would I? Why would I? Cause I go over there and do that. They gonna throw it on Game Pass. I'm not gonna get no bonuses. I'm pretty sure them Game Pass checks ain't big as they used to be.
Oh, Game Pass is going
You know what I
away.
mean?
Nah,
That's going
developers
away.
said that
Like,
the checks weren't
I
as
was
big
going to
as they
say
used
they
to be.
downsized those
yeah,
subsidies, you
you
could
know,
say, for Game
yeah,
Pass.
them checks I think the only people that get a decent sized check for Game Pass is probably Sega. Anybody else ain't getting them checks. Everybody else is not getting them.
Oh,
So I think that licensing, they can try it. I don't think it'll work out. They have to get some wet behind the ear developer that don't know nothing and just want to build up their credentials to do something like that. Established developers ain't finna do that,
No, I don't.
and that's my take on it.
So I tend. So I don't want them to sell off the IP. I don't want them to do anything like that. I think look at what these companies are trying to do. Each company is trying, and I'm talking about Sony and PlayStation here, and even Nintendo.
Hmm.
Here's what they're all three trying to do. They're all three trying to either use existing property that they have to venture out into different markets. We see that across all three of them. We had Super Mario, which got greenlit for another one. We had Detective Pikachu a couple years ago. We had the
Fire.
great movie. We had the oh crud, it was the most recent like big Pokemon movie that had come out. Like Nintendo's been shipping their IP for a long time. Sony comes in and says, "Hey, we kind of want to do this too." Xbox comes in and says, "Hey, yeah, that's a damn good idea. So let's do this." And so all three of them are trying to do that. Paramount is actually in talks with Sony as one of two top bidders to buy out Paramount, which would give them access to a shit ton of IP. Also, a streaming service which is
Why
dear
are that in?
God way better than the fucking Sony Plus or whatever the hell it's called that you get with PlayStation. Like it's going to be this is why I don't think they're going to sell their IP like straight off because even if we've seen studios do this like Insomniac, they still have the IP. Oh crap, I just blanked. Is it Insomniac that had Infamous?
Sunset Overdrive?
Insomniac was Infamous, right? Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch.
Sucker
Yeah,
Punch.
Sorry.
Sucker Punch,
Sucker
Punch
Punch
right there.
had I got to it before Josh could get me in the chat, so I feel like I did good. What's up, Zero? Um, so Sucker Punch still has the IP rights and everything to Infamous, owned through PlayStation Studios, of course. But they're not going to get rid of that because eventually they might want to use that IP for an anime, a cartoon. Ooh, shit. That'd be a hell of a cartoon. Almost like a ooh, the last
And they
cartoon
can
I
get
remember,
that joint,
like
that
Static Shock
cyberpunk
almost.
anime. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work.
That'd
I
be
was thinking
great.
of
Like,
the cyberpunk anime that came out.
oh, that'd be
What kind of anime?
dude,
It's not really
especially
anime,
with the
but
main character from number two. Like his character and that whole story from him would have been great in anime. Anyways, that's all. That's off the point. These companies are trying to build their IP, and when they get one that actually has some brand recognition, they keep it. And so you have something like Hi-Fi Rush that did have brand recognition associated with it. Like for better or for worse, whether PlayStation channels were covering it or Xbox channels were covering it, everybody was talking about Hi-Fi Rush. And it was for all the right reasons. It was for all the right reasons. Nobody talked about it for the bad reasons because there weren't very many. Other than the Xbox fandom on X doing stupid crap and overhyping it and all this other stuff and saying it was the greatest game. Like there was all that bullshit. But I'm talking about like factually, there's not much about the game that you can look at and go, "Hey, this is terrible." But you end
and
up,
that's annoying, bro. That's annoying because if you think about it, if Xbox hadn't bought these studios, it would that studio would guarantee be putting out not right like right now, but eventually they'll guarantee put out a Hi-Fi Rush 2.
oh yeah,
They wanted to. They pitched the idea for high. They were ready to
they
pitch
were
a
ready
high
to
five
pitch the
too.
idea. Yeah.
And it's like, bro, that's not
Make it
like
shut down. Jesus.
The
these people went out here and
My
and
God.
and ruin these folks' lives, bro. Like, yeah, they put out not Tango, but Arcane. They put out Redfall, which wasn't a good game. It might have its 3-4 fans or whatever, but that is not a bad studio. That studio got pedigree. That
hmm
studio put out
And
decent
talent.
games.
For decent
Decent
games.
games.
For decent games, yes.
Yeah.
Consistent.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, every studio can't hit a home. Like I said, they can't hit a home run every time. Sometimes you got to bun it out. You know what I mean?
Dude, Xbox needs to just worry about what they do best, and that is put up the money. Just put up the money for, Xbox is they just where the hell's the third party management company that comes into your business and just manages the fuck out of it and then comes every week and say, all right, we need this amount of money. Talk to you next week. They obviously
Uh,
can't do it them damn selves, but they do have a shit ton of great IPs, and I just do
Well,
not want these
um,
IPs to go to waste.
well, the,
Yep,
I wouldn't say to add to that though, but here's the thing, eh? You say that, and I'm like, hold up. So if that Forza studio has those 18 months of contract workers, what's not to say that it's happening in all the other studios?
it is.
It's just a question
yeah,
that
that's
I
how they
have.
that's how they run
It
it. That's
is.
how they run it.
That's how they run
Yeah,
it.
that's how
So
they do.
I'm like, wait a minute. If you're asking for a good game, then of a certain kind of quality or high caliber, whatever you want to call it, I'm tempted to say, and I hate to say this though, no disrespect to those people on those 18 months contract, but you're not going to get it then at that point.
No, you're
I'm
not
just
gonna get it.
being bluntly honest here. Eh?
And I even
And
think that the people like after your 18 months, you gotta wait a certain amount of time before you can come back. You can't just come right back. You gotta wait a
I
little
think it's
while.
6 months if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, yeah. You
I
gotta
think it's
wait a while. You
six
can't just
months,
come right
and
back.
so you're basically so the way, and then developers last year were talking about this, that it really sucks because let's say you go in and you work 18 months on, let's say you work 18 months on Starfield, okay, but it was the first 18 months of Starfield. You were concept design, you were concept artwork, you were that guy, you were the one who did all of
yeah,
that, the storyboarding or whatever.
Yeah. You
And
were making a PS5 version of Starfield.
right,
So, you
whatever
know,
you were doing, you then get let go after those 18 months. You've signed an NDA. You can't put this shit on your resume. I think Will made this point a long time ago. You can't put this stuff on your resume. And because of that, you're sitting
garbage.
there. It's so hard to find a job. Developers are like, listen, I've worked on some amazing AAA titles. I can't tell anybody what the hell they are because I'm under NDA with Microsoft, but I've worked on titles and I can't find a job right now because my
Hey, trust me, I worked on some big games. Trust me.
right, like yeah, trust me.
terrible.
Just wait till E3, you'll see him. Trust me,
Oh
like
my gosh,
that's
yeah.
what, sorry, that's mean, but like
Yeah, but that's what it comes down to. That kind of credibility. I'd be like, oh man, that's just terrible. Come
Yeah, it
on,
is, man. It's garbage, bro. It's like that's what I'm saying. Like nobody is
absolutely
rushing to
terrible.
go work with Xbox. Ain't nobody
Nope.
finna go over there to lease no games. They not doing it.
so that's going to lead us into the next topic. And guys, I know that other channels like to save the good shit for the end, but if I do that, we'll spend the entire time talking about games and little rabbit trails that we get on. So I like to give all the good stuff at the beginning of the first couple topics. So after everything we've said, Henry, I think you just hit it on the head. Nobody wants to work with Xbox. So have people calling, or I see people on X, excuse me, and YouTube all over the place calling for Phil Spencer's job. Now,
Uh,
we had a talk
Hmm.
a couple weeks or we had a talk a few days ago when it was just me in here, and I said there's a difference between fault and responsibility. So, here's the thing.
Hmm.
Do we think Phil Spencer should be fired? Is this his fault, or because he's the front man for Xbox as a whole,
excuse
is it just his responsibility? And then who is to blame? So I'm gonna shut up now,
Um,
and I'm gonna let y'all
me.
argue it out, and then I'll give my thoughts.
He's to fucking blame. No, no ifs, ands, or
yeah.
there's no,
If
he's the one to blame. He should have
oh
been.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Normally, when you're in a tough situation like that, you don't let go of the. I use
I
Nintendo when all the upper management took a pay cut to keep their
yes, yes.
developers.
Satoru Iwata when he was still alive.
Exactly.
The man rest
Talk
in
to him.
peace. Yep.
Yep.
Talk to him.
No, he's a beast. No, it's Phil's fault. He's been there for way too long.
Yep.
Every single time is the frontline
And
people getting their jobs lost and not
yep.
him. No, now it's their turn. He's got to go.
Yep. I'm gonna
Not just
add to
him, the whole
no,
upper management. Sorry
yeah,
about that,
I'm gonna
Tornado.
add. No worries, no worries. I'm gonna add to what Will said. Basically, he's to blame, and for sure, if you're head of Xbox and now he's head of Microsoft Gaming, he's kind of not being the scapegoat, putting Sarah Bond in that position. It doesn't matter. What Will said still stands. You need to be fired. You need to go. It's that simple. You fucked up for far too long. Your ass needs to go. It's that simple. He should have been gone for years, to be honest with you. For
X
years.
Dude, Game Pass failed. The Series S, Series X failed.
Hey,
His developers or his studios failed. They're closing. Their output
yeah,
is the less it has ever been in the history. They're turning down major IPs like Spider-Man and Knights of the Old Republic,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they're not producing anything.
Facts.
They're spending
Hey, yeah,
$70 billion.
yeah.
He's
It's
the one who
what
makes those decisions.
yeah. Will said it best, and to touch upon what Marvel, you had them on your doorstep with kind of basically like I like to call it like the silver platter moment, right? With Willy Wonka's golden ticket, and they were at your doorstep, and they were asking you like, "Hey, man, would you like to make games with our Marvel IP?" And you turned them down, and they went to Sony next, and the rest is
That's
history. Yeah,
yeah,
my
that's the problem,
God.
man. Xbox don't want to build nothing. They just want to
No.
buy stuff.
Yeah,
That's the
Yep.
problem.
They
but the
want to
And I'm
wait
problem
at
is
the
that
saying,
you're
finish
running a
line for the
gaming, but
winners.
you're running a gaming division
exactly.
that's built on
Ooh, yeah.
building, right? That's
No,
built on
not at
building and
Xbox.
creation.
It ain't built on building because they not built. What have they built? They've not built nothing.
I know. They only bought. That's the whole problem. But I mean, if you put a small passionate team of people, because that's how Xbox started, people that were actually know how to build a console and whatnot. They had those passionate people. They're gone now, and
Yeah,
I'm talking about people
it's
like
over.
Robbie
It's
Buckus,
over.
Shin
Seamus
Megami.
Blackley. The old school people from back in the day. They're all gone now, and they
You
had
know what
that.
being passionate about gaming get you an Xbox? It gets you fired.
Fired.
It gets you laid
Yeah,
off. So
it's a shame though.
you know, it is Phil's fault,
Yeah, it is
but
Phil's fault, hundred
it's
percent. No,
it's that
no
judge.
sugarcoating it.
It's
No scapegoating. No, he is the fall guy. He needs to go. He's the man to blame.
exactly.
Period.
It's FTC fault. It's the judge fault. It's
Yeah,
these Xbox YouTubers fault.
yeah. And they
It's
all
the
fell for it.
Xbox
It's the
Game
gamers'
snake
fault.
oil salesman talk. They all
hey,
fell for it.
hey, games media is their fault. To
Yep.
Will
Yep.
point, the
Yep.
Xbox gamer fault. It's a lot of people's faults. But it's Phil's job to take the blame.
Hmm.
So put it on him. That's his job. And I don't think he's gonna be
Yep.
fired because he's been there so long. He on the tail end. They getting ready to
He-
prop Sarah Bond up. So he probably gonna just get the ride off and with his
He's
extra
gonna ride
bonus
off with
money,
all of that money and
all that
making sure
paper.
that his pension is settled and sorted out. By the time that motherfucker goes to pension, he's like, "Yo, I made some money off of these suckers, man," and he's laughing in the
Yeah,
sunset.
he gonna be good. He gonna be on the,
Yeah.
chilling on the beach playing
And you
Smoke
know what I
Vampire
find so
Survivor.
sad?
He's gonna be
All
like
these
that one
sucker ass.
developer who's
Yeah.
who quit. Oh, what was his name? Then like showed the picture of him.
Ibarra.
Mike
Yes.
Ibarra, yeah, they need to drag me out of here. And the next week or so, he was fired. What the fuck? My
Man,
God. They need to
Uh,
drag me out of here. The guy was at Blizzard. And then all of a sudden, they had this firing round, and he was the first to go out.
the first
My
to
God.
go. He's gone.
You
He
can't,
is-
you can't make that shit up, man.
Which
Fucking hell.
okay, so I've heard all of y'all say yes. He is fully to blame.
Oh,
His
yeah,
fault.
yeah,
Y'all have said y'all have
definitely.
mentioned a lot of the other culprits and all that.
Yep.
oh yes,
I'm going
He's the biggest
to
one.
I'm going to agree, but I'm going to give a different side also. Because I think it's
mm,
interesting to think about the other side, okay? So here's the other side.
All right.
Phil Spencer gave a concession speech last year on the Xbox Xcast, or sorry, the Kind of Funny Xcast. That's what I took it as. That's what some others took it as. It felt like he was waving the white flag then. Tim Cook comes out, and after the white flag was raised by Spencer, I think with what happened with Tim Cook, or Tim Stewart, sorry, not Tim Cook, with what happened, is it Tim Cook? I don't know. Josh will correct me. With the CFO of Microsoft,
I think it was
when
Tim Stewart, but I'm
Tim
not
Stewart,
sure,
I
though.
think so. I think I said it correctly earlier too. I don't know why Tim Cook is in my head right now though. But anyways, Tim Stewart, He came out and said, hey, we don't view these guys as our rivals anymore. Satya Nadella comes out and says, hey, we want to put games everywhere. Phil Spencer comes out and goes, whoa, it's only 4. Hang on, guys, we're fine. It's not that. And I said it sounded like Phil Spencer was
Yeah,
fighting
seems
for
to.
his job.
Yep.
It
I looked
sounded
him
like
up.
he was trying to make a case to keep Xbox relevant. And so one of the things that I've heard from not one but like 3 different people who have covered this is that Phil Spencer has been fighting Microsoft corporate to keep Xbox relevant. So there is a world and there is a thought. Obviously, by what I have on the screen right now, you'll see that it's not some of the Xbox faithful that are having this thought, but there is a thought that Phil Spencer is actually the only reason why Xbox hasn't just turned into Microsoft gaming.
Ricky,
Or
that's true, but he
Yeah, I
still
agree with that.
failed.
I agree
He
with that.
still failed.
Yeah.
Like
right,
he
Wilson.
fought,
Josh always
but
calls
he
it says he
failed.
failed upwards.
X.
He keeps failing
Instead of
upwards.
failure.
He failed. That's it. They tried
Look.
everything. They keep failing. It's a wrap.
Okay.
I kind of wish that Nelson was here, though, because he said it best. For every failure, the man gets a promotion, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
it is true. You can look it up. You can ask Nelson for reference on that one.
He's
Every
probably in the
goddamn
chat. He
failure,
listens
this
while
man
he's
gets
at
a
work.
promotion. I swear to God. Nelson said that, man. And it's absolutely nuts.
He
Wow.
falls upwards. But so I think that yes, ultimately this all does fall on Phil Spencer's shoulders. Tornado, you said it best when you said he is definitely the fall guy. It falls on
Yeah.
him, and I get that.
Uh-huh.
But I also
He's more than the
think
fall guy. He's
Mm,
responsible.
no. I think
the responsible
I think
fall guy.
I think Satya Nadella is more responsible than he is, and here's
Oh, yeah,
why.
yeah.
No.
Who
True.
makes Phil Spencer make these dumbass decisions to release games per quarter? It's not the guy who's the head of Xbox. No. It's the guy watching the fucking money that says, hey, we need revenue. We need Game Pass. I told you to make Game Pass work. And Phil Spencer's going there, yeah, but it doesn't really, it's cannibalizing our sales, and we just told people it's not. And then Satya comes in and goes, no, look what we
I
did with
disagree.
Microsoft. No, listen. Look what we did with Microsoft Office. Everybody
disagree.
loves subscriptions.
No, I disagree.
I
I
think
disagree.
so
Well, hold
much
on.
of
That
the
means that you're trying to roll out a model on software, in this case games,
uh-huh.
which with a subscription model it hasn't been proven or it hasn't been done.
Sure.
Right. So if the numbers aren't there, and I mean Game Pass has been going at it since
They're not.
2017, and they still haven't done it, then what does that tell you? It doesn't work, basically. But they're not. But they're a stubborn bunch of motherfuckers. They don't wanna say that, right?
Right.
They're like, nah, the numbers are there, this and that. They always come up with this excuse like abbreviations like MAU, as in short for monthly active users, or engagement crap, all that kind of bullshit. And we know, just like what Will said in his how he says it so nicely, it's a fucking failure. They failed.
And look,
So
you guys
that's
are
simple.
and Thrifty. You're right about what you said about Satya. You're right. The thing that I disagree with is, of course, he's got a boss, dude. We all do, right? And his boss wants
Exactly.
certain things done a certain way.
And the
I am
boss
not
has
saying that's
no
incorrect.
idea how to run the industry that he is harping over.
Absolutely, and we see it all the time, right? All the time.
Yep.
But the reason that this is still Phil's fault at the end of the day is because what you're talking about is the bigger picture. The
Right.
things that Phil are failing is the rudimentary things. Making
Mm.
sure games come out complete, making sure they're
Facts.
feature complete, making sure they're
Facts.
working, making sure they're taking advantage of the most powerful console in the universe or the
Facts.
galaxy or whatever.
Yeah.
Making sure that your employees are well taken care of so they can go to work every day.
Do their
Making
thing.
sure that you're
Yeah.
paying the bills. Making sure that your
Mhm.
managers are doing their jobs. So they're
Mhm.
making sure that Sarabon and Booty are doing their jobs, to make sure the studio heads are doing their jobs, to make sure that department heads are doing their jobs, to make sure that team leads are doing their jobs. Like these are all Phil's responsibility. This has nothing with Satya. Satya will see Phil once a quarter to go over the numbers and go over the big picture, right? The Game Pass and subscription services. But Phil is the one that says, "Hey, Booty, Go find me a fucking AA game to put in Game Pass. Hey, Booty, we need a third party deal because we ain't got shit coming out this year. Hey, Booty, scratch my booty. Hey, Booty, that's
We need
Phil's
coffee.
job.
We need coffee.
He
Yeah,
failed at that. He cannot
yeah,
manage a corporation or a company the size of Xbox. He just can't.
and
And look, let me be the
and
first to say I actually like Phil. I like Phil. I like Phil because he's charismatic. I like Phil because I can tell he cares. He likes his job. He likes gaming. I appreciate those things. But just like my boss, I cannot talk work with her. But we can talk about kids all day. I'll go out and have a beer with her. We can go catch a ball game. Shit, if I was stranded in the planet with just her and a couple other people, I'd be fine because we all get along. But as soon as work comes along, I have to step out the way because she doesn't know what she's talking
I
about.
hope
Same
she.
thing with
I hope she
Phil.
doesn't listen to the show.
Bruh.
Well, my boss is a he, so
Oh,
I completely, there's different bosses. But besides the point, Phil, I like Phil. I think he does have a position in the gaming industry somewhere, but as leader of Microsoft Gaming, it's
uh,
absolutely not. He needs to go back
Nah.
down to a studio, get his bearings. And mind you, what was Phil's old job?
that's a good question. I think Nelson might know that though.
He was the finance guy for a studio, which the studio failed, and then he got promoted up.
Uh,
So
I'm sorry.
fucking Christ.
Go ahead.
Phil
What did
and
I say earlier? What Nelson said? He got a promotion after every
promotion up.
failure, right?
And
He
look, and
fails
Phil made some
upward.
changes.
Hell,
Yeah.
And the thing with Phil that people, are still, kind of give him the benefit of the doubt is because did Phil make some big changes for the Xbox One era, right? He got rid of the Connect. He brought the price down back to 299 or 300, whatever it was. He tried to the always online shit. He tried to fix a lot of the things that they really screwed up. The TV, always TV,
Hmm.
right? He did fix a lot of those things, right? And he did have a vision for the future of gaming, which could have been a good idea, but he executed the idea and the idea failed. And it's not that it
it is.
failed, but it also failed with every resource in the planet available. I mean, dude, Bethesda, Rare, Activision's. I don't care what nobody says about Call of Duty. And look, I don't really play Call of Duty. I do love the campaigns, but the thing with Activision is there's nobody in the universe that is making mechanics like they do for Call of Duty as clean, the kickback of the gun, the sounds. Nobody is. Nobody.
Oh,
Now
I
they're
gotta push back. I gotta
their
push back a little.
MPX and bullshit like that, sure, whatever. But when I play a Call of Duty game, I'm like, damn, the shooting is crisp, the movement is crisp, all this is crisp.
Mm,
Nobody's doing a first person shooter like that. And Thrift
I
and
might.
Henry plays more games like that than I do. But from what I play and was generally known, and even just regular video games that I play, those are clean. Those games are clean.
That's true. And the only
And
reason
Phil
I
has
push
that.
back a little bit is the shooting, the way the guns feel in Destiny, amazing. The sound,
Well, see,
the
that's a little bit of
everything.
preference. Because I play Destiny 2 and I agree with you, but I like the Call of Duty feel a little bit better. But I'm not this,
Well,
it's just an opinion
the
thing.
thing about exactly, but the thing about Call of Duty, they using real guns, so they go out there, they record the sounds
Hmm.
and whatnot, so they get to study the actual guns. To be able to do that with made up guns in a sci-fi setting,
It's
that's just
amazing.
different.
It's
Yeah, exactly,
amazing. But
Did
oh, I'm
exactly.
y'all?
sorry. The
Now,
thing I want to wrap up with that is that not only did Phil fail, but he failed with having all the resources he can possibly have. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with failing. I mean, there's a lot wrong with failing,
mm-mm.
but he's still trying to continue with the failure, and that's what makes Phil a much even bigger failure than him just failing at his job regularly.
I think Phil would do well in a position like Shuhei. You go out, find the
Yes.
games, and bring
Yes.
the games back. I think he'll do
Yeah,
well
but
Yes.
in
here's
something like that.
I'm gonna add something to that. It's funny when Henry said that he was playing Stellar Blade, right? And I think you know the backstory of
Fire
that one, right? Yeah.
action game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Get this. You just mentioned that Phil Spencer should have gone out to studios and actually have a look at what people are creating and what they're playing, right? Or actually have a playthrough himself, right? And
Yes.
Stellar Blades pops into my mind because of the video clip that I posted in the Discord where he actually the guy, yeah, the producer from Stellar Blade, was actually talking about Shuhei Yoshida coming into the studio
Hmm.
for the first time and actually having a playthrough. Right? He happened to be in Korea, and he heard this from someone like, "Hey, these people are working on a console game. This is the first one, by the way. Shift up." And Shuhei was like, "You know what? Let me take a look at that." And he was like, "Hey, we gotta do something with this." And that's what the guy said, the Korean director from the game. And he said like, and that's how our relationship got born with Sony. He said that specifically in the video clip. I can post it for you guys in the Discord if you like. And
I read about it. It was an article
you
I
you
read
you
about.
might have seen it already, though. Maybe the many of us that might have are listening to this podcast have seen it as well. And it's not a surprise to me, but I'm like, this is the way how Sony has been working for years, you know. And Sega was doing the same thing back in the day with the Dreamcast as well. You know, I'd argue they were looking up with the 1.5 developers, and they had a special bond with them making games, right? And it's something that Microsoft doesn't have. They don't have that pulse on the finger, like where do we need to go to find games? Who do we need to look for? You know, and it's
That's what I was saying. With
yeah,
nobody is busting down the door to go work with
no,
Microsoft. They not
no,
doing it.
nope,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
These people, because as we know, Stellar Blade was gonna be a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
These people sought out Shuhei. He in town. He in town,
yeah,
baby. Let's set up a meeting. Let's get him over here
exactly,
to see this.
exactly. Word spread the
You
mouth,
know what I mean?
and the guy was like, "Hey, if Shu is here, I gotta get him here." You know, somehow, way, shape, or form, and it happened.
Yeah,
It
And
and
now
happened.
we out here playing action game
a
of the year Stellar Blade.
fire ass game. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Hey,
Oh my
one
gosh.
thingy that I wanted to mention, a CEO now doing his job, and that's something I'm especially how Will said it passionate with his strong voice when he said that he's a failure. You know, he failed. Um, if you're as a CEO saying that your game of the year is State of the Decay free, when I heard that from Phil, I was like, okay, we have a CEO here that clearly doesn't know how to do his job. It is that simple. At that point, when I heard him say that, you can ask Nelson on that one. He'll me up on that one. We have an article on that one. And when I saw that, I was like, yo, all I could do was face palm. State of the Decay free. My God,
So the chat
never
is
mind.
actually they've literally took what I said at the beginning and have done it. They are talking amongst themselves about uh,
Yeah.
Xbox and Sony releasing games on PC and how Sony got in some hot water. So let's go ahead and get down to that topic.
Ooh
So
Oh
wee,
yeah,
Phil
ooh wee.
Spencer
This
should
that
be
is
part.
a
fired.
topic.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into this one because I did a whole thoughts with Thrifty over the initial side of this. And now we're going to get into this side. I don't have an article for this or anything because we all know the bullshit that happened.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I've seen enough, Bill.
so my there's two camps here, and one of them is the one that I keep seeing everywhere that Sony bent the knee. Good job, Sony, or good job, player base, for doing this. The community manager got fired, all that other stuff. And everybody is
Yeah.
championing this, saying it's so great, so awesome. Sony bent the knee. But here's a different perspective. So I can approach the news and approach these topics the same as everybody else, or I can do what I've always done and come in here and give you different perspectives. That's why I like getting different people on here because they usually think a little different than I do. But here's a different thought. What if Sony got bent over instead? What if what if it wasn't them that was the problem? What if the community manager got fired not because he was a champion for gamers, but because he tried to fuck Sony and Arrowhead said, "Yeah, you gotta go, dude. You almost cost us everything. You gotta get the hell out of here." And so he gets
I
fired.
can see that. I can see that.
That's the stuff that we don't see, of course, since we're not there in the studio, and especially
Dude got fired the
now I'm a
day
little bit
after
closer to their
Sony
studio
walked
because
it
they're from
back.
Sweden, right? Arrowhead.
I
Yeah,
Nah,
think
bro,
so.
he
Yeah.
Sweden.
overplayed his fucking hand. He overplayed it
True,
way
true.
too hard, and it
Right.
failed him. And you don't. I don't care who the fuck you are. You don't talk shit about your company like that. because
Yeah,
But what I'm
I said
saying
I had
is
said
do
he
you think
overstepped.
he's a rogue that did it on his own, or do you think that
yes,
that came from Arrowhead's?
no, that was
Okay.
him overcorrecting himself. It's just like when you're too apologetic when you fucked up, or when you try to kiss your wife's ass a little bit too much because you did something that she didn't like. That's exactly what he did. It was instinctual. We all did it, except that it was too high up. You don't fucking tell your people to, hey, go review this fucking game, and you're disgruntled. No, you say some shit politically. You're the community manager and you try to be cool with people and handle things a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it's still a business and you still have a boss. And even if Sony
Exactly.
fucked up bad, you still don't fucking do that shit. I would have fired him as well. I don't give a fuck who he was and how good he was. I would have fired him because that's just too big. I mean, we're talking about 200,000 reviews.
Yeah.
200,000. We're not talking a
And
little bit.
I was actually just on the subreddit, and they trying to get people to, like, the players themselves are trying to get people to change the reviews back, and some people can't even get in onto the Steam page to change it. They getting error messages. They can't even get in and change it back, and that's why I had a problem with doing it that way, because you played this game for 3 months, and because
Yep.
Arrowhead didn't do what they were supposed to do, you finna review bomb the game because Sony is making a requirement that they told Arrowhead about 6 months before release.
But that's the thing. The
We're
PC community didn't start off the whole review bombing thing. The community guy did. He was the one telling them in the Discord, "Hey, PlayStation doesn't have access to our Discord. They can't see what I'm putting in here. Y'all need
Oh,
to
see,
go
I didn't
speak
see
your
that. I
yeah,
didn't
y'all
see
need to go
that.
speak your mind." And that's what got his ass fired. He literally told the community that this is how we're going to get him. Change the Metacritic score, change the Steam score, make it tank.
Oh yeah, he gotta go. He gotta go.
So
He
that's my
gotta go.
thing. Sony literally, this is why I said I think Sony got fucked more than they bent the knee. Because I don't think they bent the knee. I think once this dude pulled all the bullshit that he did, Sony was like, yeah, we're just walking it back. Screw it.
Yeah, they didn't have
I
a
don't
choice. But
I don't think
I do
Sony got
still.
fucked. Go ahead, Henry.
Oh,
I'll
you go
talk.
ahead.
I'll
Go ahead.
talk up at you. Well, the reason I don't
All
think
right.
Sony
Well,
got fucked.
No, no, no. One of y'all go.
Go ahead, Henry. Go, Henry.
oh, I'll be quick. I'll be quick. Cause I put all the blame on Arrowhead for the very reason I just said. They knew 6 months beforehand this was going to be a requirement. They chose to not let the people know. We see Sucker Punch, right? For example, PSN ain't gonna be required for multiplayer. That game ain't out on PC yet. They still letting people know. PSN ain't gonna be required for multiplayer. Arrowhead knew 6 months beforehand. They said nothing.
yeah.
Their release,
Facts.
they said nothing. 3 months that we've been playing this whole time, they said nothing. Now all of a sudden, when it comes like, hey, and then it's not even required on the day. You still got a whole nother month.
You had a month.
You know what I mean? So it's not like they sprung it on you, which is what me and Wara was talking about. Cause you're like, yeah, that's super shitty for them to just throw it on. And in my mind, it's like, yeah, it's shitty, but it's to be expected. You know what I mean? Cause it's a PlayStation game, so of course. But if they just threw it on the people, that's some bull. You know what I mean? That's stupid. But then upon further research, it was on the Steam pages day one, and the
Yep.
director took it upon himself to disable the linkage or whatever.
Wasn't
Thus,
it because of server issues that they had in the beginning? That's why they didn't make
that
it a requirement?
that's
Yeah.
what they saying. Yeah. But me and War are talking. He trying to put together a timeline. He said he gonna figure it out or do some more
Yeah, man.
research.
This whole thing
But
has Wara in his head. He's like, something just
it's
doesn't
a, it's a
feel right.
mess.
Something just doesn't
It's a
feel
mess,
right.
bro. Cause
Yeah.
it's like, bro, and everybody's like, I you can call me a Sony bootlicker. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because I feel like
Because
Sony
I'm
did the
playing
right thing.
Stellar Blade, assholes. Like, call me whatever you want.
Yeah. Call me a bootlicker. But if
Look,
I feel like they told him 6 months before,
Yeah. To me, it
so
feels
it's not.
disingenuous, but I always have a problem with the PCMR community. So they can come at me if they want, though. But that's how I
mhm.
feel. There's some disingenuous I'd say there's a disingenuous feeling over this situation, as far as I'm concerned.
It's they just anti-Sony, bro.
See, I'm a
Anti-Sony.
different opinion of you guys completely. And
Yeah,
first
that's
off,
fine.
before I
That's
say
fine.
what I'm about to say is, I really, 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 really give a fuck about this. I really do not care about PSN
Come,
and
come,
PC and
come
none.
on,
I
Will.
do
You
not
gotta give a
care.
fuck. Give
No,
a
no, I
fuck,
am. I
blood.
am. I am because for the spirit of conversation and
At least
opinions,
at
I'm
least
gonna
for the
say
show, you got to give a
no, no,
little
I
bit of a
am.
fuck.
I am, but I just want to put that little disclaimer out there that I'm only talking about this because I'm in the show, and of course I want to talk about it with the show and my friends. But no, I just do not care about this at all. Like fuck PC, everything they do, they're to me a lot of them steal shit. They whatever.
And that's what I
But
was
They
going to
not
say.
they're not they're not
To add
stealing.
to
They
what Will
preserving
says, what I
games.
find interesting with the Helldivers 2 situation, and here's the thing, and this is kind of what kind of rubs me the wrong way. If there are people that have already played between 100 to 1,000 hours, like what
yeah,
I think Will or Henry said that for 3 months,
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
refunding
3 months.
that, and I'm
yeah.
like, wait a minute. So
But
if I buy something in a store and I have let's say a T-shirt or something, I'm able to bring it back for 3 months because that's what it comes off to me. Eh? I'm
bro,
like,
we
in
all
what
done
kind
it.
of fucking world we live in?
Not that we've all done it, but we all seen it where
Madness.
a fucking person eats 3/4 of a burger and like, oh, I didn't like it. You know, it's
Exactly.
the same shit they
And
did.
I want my
But
money back.
but
But
now
What
that
the
I
but
said
fuck?
that, now that I said that now you guys know I just really don't give a fuck about anything about this. What I'm gonna say is
Yeah.
Sony made a major mistake, and I'm gonna put the blame on Sony 100%. Now, the reason I'm gonna give Sony or I'm gonna blame Sony 100% on this situation is because the thing that gives this complaint validity is that there is 170 countries that this game was on sale on Steam that they couldn't access PSN even if they wanted to. Now we all know the backdoors way you can do it, right? We all do it every single day with all sorts of different shit. But speaking of the legality of things and the ethics thing, Sony put out a game on Steam where 170 countries did not access it. Now, as far as who told who when it was said to the gamer or not, that's irrelevant. That shit was on there when they purchased the fucking game. If they don't
Yep.
read the fine
On the
print, that's
page.
their fucking
Day one.
fault. That's
Yeah.
their fault. If I get a letter from my credit card company in the mail saying, "Hey, Will, congratulations, we're gonna change your interest rate from whatever 20% to 150%," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?" Yeah, in that contract you signed, the 57-page one with the font that's the size of a one, all up in there, it was on there. That's my fault. No matter how tricky they did it, no matter how small they made the print, that's still my fault because I didn't take the time to read it. They gave me the information, so
I know exactly where Will is going with this. Yeah.
I don't care about when they were told they didn't read the fine print, none of that bullshit. I don't care. The biggest fuck up PlayStation did here was the 170 country part. You sold the product and now they won't be able to play it. That's PlayStation.
No, it
Now,
wasn't.
this is a learning.
No, it wasn't. It was
What do you mean?
not. So, actually
But I
doing
know
some more,
I'm
hang on,
seeing
hang on,
where
real
Will is
quick,
going
real
with
quick,
this,
Tornado,
though.
hang
Yeah.
on. Doing some more research on this. Sony had it to where only countries who were only people who had PSN accounts were going to be able to purchase the game.
And
And when they pushed that,
I had a question. I had a question that led into this.
and when they
Actually.
pushed that damn button at Arrowhead Studios on day one, it opened up the entire Steam market. So this was not Sony's fault.
So you're saying Sony only PlayStation Network accounts,
Yes.
but Arrowhead turned the feature off
Yes.
because they wanted to get the game going,
Day
and
one.
now that they
That's
turned it
because of
back
the
on, it
server
was
issues.
fucked up.
That's
So then
what I was
that's
mentioning.
Arrowhead's fault.
That's
And that's what my question
That's
was.
which is
Arrowhead's
why
fault.
Sony got fucked.
Was I-
Which is
Now, if it's what
Yeah.
you're saying, Thrifty, if it's exactly how you're saying it or similar, then yes, it's Arrowhead's fault 100%. But at the end of the day, it's still Sony's fault because Sony is in charge of Arrowhead.
it's not
That's
their fault. It's their
company.
responsibility.
Yes, their responsibility. So if it's like Phil Spencer. We talked about him previously. He's the leader. You're the boss there, buddy. That's your guy. You're responsible for that guy. If I go to a gaming event and people know me, and I say, hey, I'm bringing my buddy Thrifty. I'm vouching for him. Whatever Thrifty does is going to reflect upon me. Whether it's right or wrong, that's just the way things are. I vouch for Thrifty. If Thrifty slaps somebody's wife, I'm like, oh shit, that's gonna look terrible on me. And next time I want to bring a friend, I'll be like, nah, dude, remember your buddy Thrifty. It's the
Okay,
same shit in this
I got you.
situation.
I got you.
So
Because
it's not fair, right? But this is the real world. Nothing's ever fucking fair. And guess what? Look, they made their money. Look, you know what Helldivers did for PlayStation? Helldivers is the 7th most sold video game for PlayStation ever. The 7th. Why? Because of the PC sales. So they got a lot of benefit out of it, and they got the most important lesson out of it all: what to do with the PSN. That's a lesson that they learned. They learned the hard way, but they learned it. And as successful people know, failure is just as important as success. And this is only going to propel Sony forward. Do you think they're going to commit this again? No, they're not.
oh,
Do
definitely
you
not.
think
Definitely
do you think
not.
they got PC gamers timing down? Absolutely. PlayStation, this shit's not gonna fly again. And the next time the PC community tries to pull some bullshit like this, they're gonna look real fucking stupid. Because PlayStation is also very stubborn. They are very stubborn. And just another thing I want to say before I pass it on to you guys is the a quick little, it was a fun fact about how all these companies, Epic and EA and Ubisoft, they all have their little sign-ins, right?
Hmm.
Blizzard.
Yep.
But then with
Uplay,
PlayStation, it's the
Ubisoft.
problem, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's the
yeah.
problem,
And
But
that's
yeah,
what
no,
I
it's
find
just the
is.
hypocrisy in it all.
Thank you, thank you. That's what I was gonna say. You beat me to it. Yeah.
Okay,
So
here it
yes,
is.
they
Here it
were
is.
wrong, but at the same time, the PC gamer is the
On
hypocrite.
May 5th, I had to find it. On May 5th, because, receipts are a thing. And Will, you brought up a good point. If it went down the way I said it did, I want you to. You're right. Here's exactly what I said. The CEO of the studio, head of the studio, whatever you want to call him, I do have my part to play. I am not blameless in all of this. It was my decision to disable account leaking at launch so that players
There
could
you
play
go.
the game. I did.
Yeah,
I
Bingo.
yeah,
boom, right there. And then at the end of it, we knew 6 months before.
yeah.
Mic drop
So that's
moment.
That
Arrowhead's
is why
fault.
I
I'm
think
telling
Sony
you.
got fucked. They did
Mic
not
drop
No,
bend the
they
knee.
didn't get
moment.
fucked. They didn't remember
Yeah.
top 7 selling game of all time.
Like,
They did not get
so they
fucked.
made that money. That's what
They
you're
made a
saying.
mistake. They made that money and they got their rates or their ratings back up. Did they get them all? No, but who gives a
I'm
fuck?
saying in the public eye, Sony got screwed because
Nah,
it was
no.
all on
Just for
them.
But
2 days.
Just for 2 days
in
because
my
Xbox couldn't
Yeah,
let them have it. God
yeah,
dang it.
no, fuck.
to
It wasn't even that bad.
Xbox should have
Xbox.
come out. They should have come out and said Hi-Fi Rush 2 is on the fucking way.
Yep,
Like they should have done something.
bro. Xbox out here
God.
acting like Captain Save-A-Ho. Like, bro, just let them fucking drown, bro. Like, this is like you need this. You need this win, and you're out here
It
fucking it
would have
up.
been
But
so
yeah, no,
good.
they did get fucked, but for 2 days, the public opinion hasn't changed. And mind you, the public opinion with Sony has been the fucking same. People hate them. They're
exactly.
successful. They
Exactly
they
true.
do good
Exactly.
games. They got to nitpick on something. And if they're gonna
Yeah.
nitpick on a fucking network sign-in, whatever, fuck off. You can have it. And PC dudes can even take them serious, bro. They play shit. What's their number one more popular game? Not Contra, but Counter
Counter
Strike.
Strike.
This fucking
Counter
game's like
Strike.
40 years old. Get real. Shut up. Y'all haven't seen a
Yeah.
fucking visually stunning game till PlayStation came in. And I know I'm being facetious, right? That's not true, obviously. But fuck them. Fuck PC dudes are
Well,
fucking weird. They
well,
steal
it's fun.
shit.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, Will. I'm looking at the numbers on Steam, right? And if you look at the amount of people that have like a top-end, high-end GPU, the
It's not a
percentage.
lot.
Is, I
Not a
was
lot.
gonna say. So if you ask these people, and King Trash did that once at someone,
He's a beast.
have you seen a 4K image as to a PC player? That PC player responded like, no, because I have a 1080 video card. And I'm like, okay, we're done. Mic drop moment at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
My
Nah,
God.
dude, they're weird. They're weird dudes, dude.
So,
Hey,
uh,
hey, we see what kind of games they like to play, bro.
Josh
Yeah,
said
yeah.
this. He said, "So you had a bad weekend, Sony? Here, hold my beer."
That's a fact.
Which is
No, they bounce right back, bro. And
oh,
guess what? Ghost of Tsushima's
Oh my
coming
God.
out. When is it? This month.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
my
gonna be
opinion.
awesome, and people
And
are
they're
finally gonna be able to play
and they're
it.
gonna crack it within the first 20 minutes, and it's
Yep.
Oh
gonna
yeah, they
be on
stealing
free
that. That's getting
torrents.
stolen
They're
with it.
gonna
Yeah,
steal the
yeah.
shit out of that. So
And
you,
that's the reason why these people are against these sign-ins. And that was my next thing that I wanted to say.
hmm
That's the
Yeah.
reason why they don't want that sign-in, so they can get the data and fucking copy it and steal it and whatever.
Yep.
That's what they do. It's that
Yep.
simple.
yeah, I totally
Nothing
agree.
But
Like,
else.
And
Nothing
hack the
else.
damn,
Yep.
watch
cheat.
this.
Nothing else.
Watch this shit. Hang
Hey,
on. Let, let
hey.
me let
Oh,
me
yeah.
no, keep talking, keep talking. Sorry. I'm gonna pull
So,
something up real quick.
no worries. What I was going to say is, and that's the reason it might not help, but maybe it's a small percentage. That's why I have crossplay off on my Helldivers 2 copy. I
Oh,
don't play with
so do
PC
I.
scumbags. I don't do that. Fuck
Hey
that
guys,
shit.
I uninstalled
I
it, man.
just did a quick, and I mean super quick, in real time Google search for emulators. There are over 40 of them, 50 of them, ranging from PSX, Visual Boy Advance. Dang, that's an old one. That was one that I used to use a long time ago. Holy crap. Anyways, uh, you have ZSNES is still around. That was the first emulator I ever used when I was trying to play Nintendo games, but I only had a PS1, and so I would use ZSNES. But like, this is my problem right here because
Mm.
I was a young and dumb child that was trying to steal things off the internet because I thought that what I wanted trumped everything else that is good, right? If I want it, I'm going to do it because I had that stupid child mentality. Well, there are
Yes.
over 40 emulators right now where you can play anything you want and they're right here, not hidden behind, hey, this is unsafe material, this is that, blah blah blah. No, you don't have to search for it hard. You type in emulators on Google, and all 50 different ways to steal video games is sitting right
Yeah.
here. And so yeah, PC players, great. You don't have to pay for your games. That's fantastic. But then you're going to sit and gripe that, oh, studios are closing. Oh, it's so sad. No, 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 no. The reason I get pissed off when studios close, the reason I can get frustrated when games like Deus Ex or franchises like Deus Ex are completely dead and gone and done unless
Heat.
somebody buys the
People that
Heat
rights.
buy them.
franchise.
Yeah,
Like,
Heat
people that buy them.
franchise.
yeah,
They rather steal them than that they actually buy and
but
support them. That's what it
it's
comes
because I
down to.
buy my games. These
Yeah.
are IP that I have invested in. Yes,
You
granted.
contributed to the success.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
$70 investment at most, maybe 100 if I like the digital or if I go the deluxe edition like I did for Spider-Man and like I did for Final Fantasy.
Spider-Man. Ew.
But I know, it doesn't have Destiny in the title. You don't like it. I know. Call of Duty
hey,
is
hey,
your
hey,
jam. I'm proud of you actually for playing something that's actually in third person. It makes me happy.
different tastes for different people, shall we say?
Hey, different taste for different buffets,
And
man.
Hey
also,
man,
don't
I don't
forget,
give a shit.
Yeah.
PC guys, they also pay less for their games.
They
So
do.
not only
They
are they
do.
not paying for
They
like
do.
PSN or any of these other networks that some that we all got to pay, they also get their games cheaper. Day one, they're getting some sort of discount from a third party seller. They have so many benefits. And what do they love touting? Mods, right? I
Yeah.
would love to know the percentage of PC gamers that play a game day one first playthrough without any mods. So they
Bruh.
automatically are taking the artistic vision of the game and screwing it to make it whatever fucking perverted way they want to make it. And look, you have
Thank you.
Bethesda games
Thank you.
where modders
Yeah.
make it work. But yeah, you defend that shit. You put in free labor for a company like Bethesda to put out a broken game, but yet a PSN is a fucking issue. You can for real sit
Talk to
here,
'em.
install a mod, but yet you don't, like Dude said, hey, it takes 120 seconds to put your damn email, turn your VPN on, whatever. Now, that's not fair, right? Because what's not fair is I think of people like me a few years ago, where I come home, I turn my PS5 on, push the button in the middle of the controller, I hit X a
Beep.
few times, I'm in my game, right? I don't
Yup.
have to troubleshoot anything, whatever. There are
The
PC
the
guys
best
like
way to
that too,
game.
right? The best way to game. But there are
Plastic
PC
box
guys
make
like that too
picture.
that are, they have a PC just because there's some games that you can only play on PC and they may only play those couple games and they're not really computer savvy. And, they're maybe in one of these 170 countries that doesn't have PSN and they don't know shit about VPNs, and those are the guys that I feel sorry for, and I'm glad that PlayStation changed it for those people. But the majority of the people that were bitching and grinding, first off, they weren't even part of the 170 countries that were affected by this. They were just
Exactly,
bitching because they're
They're
bitching.
just leeching, pirating scum. It is that simple. The
Yeah.
scumbags that I like to call scumbags in the
Yeah.
GTA session. They are the
They're
very
mad
same.
because
It is
the
that
pu-
simple.
they're just mad because the business owner put two locks on their door instead of one, and now they can't break in. That's all they're mad about.
Exactly. Yep.
And so
It's
I
that
was
simple.
actually, when I did the Thoughts of Thrifty, I actually pointed out when I was at my local game store playing some Magic on Saturday, or on early Sunday, there were people behind me talking about this situation and all that was going on and having to log in and all that. And then they were like, well, Sony has the right to do it because, and then one of them was, and I have ADHD, guys. I don't know if y'all know that with how spastic
Mhm.
I am sometimes and how much I forget what I'm saying mid-thought. But I
No
have
worries.
ADHD. And so I was listening to their conversation, not even meaning to, but it's just something that happens and I can't stop it. I try. I hear some random shit often. But like I was listening
So
and they said
that's a
didn't
good skill to have, though.
they were like didn't Sony come in and like help Arrowhead with the game and offer him money
Oh my
and funding? And I
gosh.
was like and I turned back and I said, yes, they did. They did a lot of it. They handled the marketing. As a matter of fact, they own the IP. It's theirs. And they were like, and I was like, y'all are PC guys, right? I've been listening to y'all talk a little bit, and y'all are PC guys. Yeah, man. Yeah, I got a really awesome PC at the house. I play Magic because it's a way to get me out and like social. Oh, that's really cool, guys. So don't you already have 36 accounts that you have to have? And he was like, yeah, but we don't want a 37. It's ridiculous. And from Sony, no less. And I'm like,
Ah,
what the
so there it is. Eh?
fuck,
Now the
guys?
monkey comes through the sleeve. Eh? That's
I'm
an expression
like,
we have.
I'm like,
Wait,
So that's
the
what it
monkey
is.
comes
So
through the
they,
sleeve.
yeah, yeah. It's an expression that we have here in Holland, though.
Mon-
I translate. It's weird, but that's basically the truth comes out. Eh? That's what we mean
the
by that
monkey came
expression.
through the
So
sleeve. That's funny.
yeah,
The
I
other
like
one that
that.
I
Hey,
like is when they
I'm gonna
say
use that tomorrow.
"Oh yeah, but Sony gets hacked, so I don't want my shit to get hacked." I'm like, "Oh really?"
Yeah,
So
and that's
Sony's
something
the
from
only
2011
one.
eh, that they bring up.
Bro,
What
And
the
not just
fuck?
listen.
2011, but
Okay,
fuck X. We talked about Xbox getting broken into hack wise just 3 times in the last 6 months.
so
I was
listen.
gonna say
I
shit.
said I
Like
said I was gonna go off
the
on.
very app that they complain on, which is X, got hacked last
Oh
year, and they
man.
still on it complaining.
So here's the thing. I said I was gonna go off on Microsoft because you're talking about hacks, which I automatically think of how shit doesn't work like it's supposed to. Microsoft has
Oh
literally
man.
sent 2 updates to my computer. They send it once every 2 weeks, and I have it down now. They send it on Thursday or on Tuesday nights. So Wednesday morning, my whole computer is fucked up apparently. It screwed up my stream 2 weeks ago, and it almost screwed up the stream tonight because it took out my internet card. I literally had to uninstall, not uninstall, but there's a thing you can do on this stupid fucking PC where you can go in and basically uninstall all your network settings and it reinstalls them back to factory. And that's what I had to do because Microsoft did a fucking update and screwed up my computer. So here's the thing. I say all that to say this. If you're willing to make a Game Pass or make a Microsoft account for Game Pass that can't even get a gosh dang regular run of the mill update running fine and proper and not screwing up your system, how in the actual hell are you going to sit and gripe about Sony? Like you you have a company that can't do anything right and you're willing to give them your information. You gave your information to a sleazy ass company like Blizzard and you let them have it. You dangle it out for EA and you bend it on over for
Oh,
Ubisoft. But
um,
oh my goodness, they ask you to make a
I got,
free account and you're pissed
yep.
off.
Briefly, I had a thought on that. Eh? It's more from an how do you say from a practical view. I'm willing to argue that most of these people were former Xbots that have been converted over to PC that are complaining about it. They finally got something goodness in their hands, and they finally are on the platform that they can play something, but they're not willing to commit to Sony because the hatred
Oh,
is so big and
Uh-huh.
so huge. Like you said, They sign in for 36 accounts, but they don't want to sign in for the 37.
Tornado, you brought up the perfect
Yeah.
thing because just
Right?
recently, as I
Right?
think it was yesterday, or the day before, somebody we're talking about difficult games and Souls games and this, and the
Mm-hmm.
person
Oh
said in one
man.
of their videos that the type of gamer that you are, and he said you hated Souls games, but then you ended up beating it, and now you love it, and now you think Souls games are the best thing ever. It's the same thing
Yeah.
with PC. You never had one. Xbox fucked you too many times. Now you actually
Yeah.
have something decent, so now you got to go to bat for every little fucking thing that
Exactly.
they do. That's
Mm.
Bingo. Bingo. There you go,
That's
folks.
that's see that's the kind of that's a different perspective. I
Yep.
didn't even think about that.
There
and
you
we
go.
That's
seeing it.
really
And
good.
shout out to Doc Dark, right? He made that switch to PC
Yep.
recently. He's
Yep.
been talking
Dr.
about it,
But the
Dark.
and
PS5
look
is
at him.
still sitting right next
There's
to the
levels to
television.
this,
Of
as he
course,
says.
of course
There's
it is.
levels to this,
There's levels, right? Facts. And shout out to him, right? But look, it's just I would have done the same thing if I was
Oh
him.
man.
If I hated PlayStation, what I'm a gamer. Well, I got to go somewhere, and Nintendo just doesn't cut it, right? So
Exactly.
PC it is.
Yeah. That
Oh man, but make no
that
mistake,
makes a
those PC
lot of
suckers pirate
sense.
those Nintendo games to play them as well, eh?
Oh, you
Make
just
no
emulate
mistake.
them. Remember, you could just
Make
You
steal
just
it,
no
so you're
you
good.
just
mistake.
emulate them.
No
Yeah.
mistake. For a bunch of scumbags.
Like and
Dude,
I remember when Tears of the Kingdom came out, right? I went out
1.1
and
million. God.
I went out and I had some Switch games because at this point I refused to give Nintendo any more money, so I was like I'm not gonna pay for it, and I just traded all the Switch games in that I had bought, and so I got it, put it in the Switch, and then I emulated on the Steam Deck. The performance on the Steam Deck was just so much better in comparison to what the Switch had, gave me. So, but at the same time, I I got the game. You know what I mean? I
So
traded in my whole Nintendo library investment to have the game. You know what I mean? So I had invested into it. It's not like I just ran to the internet and stole it. You know what I
right.
mean?
So here's the thing, and one of the guys in the chat, Slimy Mucus, he's been in the chat a lot tonight. Thanks for showing up, man. Thanks for engaging and not being hateful or what I've seen as rude or anything. I appreciate that. But
Shout
he
out
brought
Mucus.
up emulation and how it's not illegal and everything. And so we did a whole show almost. It took up a lot of it actually about emulation and ROMs, and I broke down articles and I talked about some of the laws around it. So technically, Henry, what you did is actually legal. You had a physical
Yeah,
copy.
yeah, yeah.
You are
You're supposed to pay
allowed
for
to
it.
I was
have
gonna say
a
you have to
digital.
copy from Nintendo. Yeah.
Right,
You're
and you
good.
are allowed to have a digital backup of your physical goods. And so
That's the actual preservation that they talk about.
that's
Yeah.
the actual
Yeah.
reason
Yeah.
why ROMs, the files, are allowed
Exactly.
to exist on the internet, and the onus is on the person to be able to say, yes, I have this, or no, I don't. The reason why that one company got in so much trouble with it was because they were not charging, they were making mandatory donations a thing. So when you went to download Tears of the Kingdom from this one website, uh, you had to pay like $5 or $10 or whatever in a quote unquote donation. And but no, if you already own the copy, or one of the okay, so this is terrible. This was back when I was stupid. I wanted to play Pokemon Red. I had it. It was the one I had on my Game Boy Color. Didn't have a Game Boy Color anymore, but I did purchase that game at some point in my life. And so I used that in college when I was 21, 22 years old as justification for stealing it because I was like, oh no, I bought it once. I had it, so that has to count, right? No, that doesn't, because I didn't actually own the physical copy anymore. I had gotten rid of it. So in the letter of the law, I was actually stealing it. And so that's where the legality of ROMs, because Slimy Mucus said emulators are not illegal, and he's absolutely right. They are not illegal. You can have as many emulators on your computer as you want. It's not illegal. No problem. You can also download as many of those ROMs as you want as long as you didn't A, give a donation for them, or B, purchase them outright from a website. You can do that as many times as you want as long as you own the physical copy. That's it.
That's why And I don't know if any of you guys like. Well, will like to. You would like to play retro games, don't you, Will?
Yeah, we all
Yeah.
do. I think.
I'm
Okay.
one of them. In
Yeah.
fact, I invested
Okay.
into a polymega recently, so
I'm playing Double Dragon right now using my Portal.
And
yeah.
shout
Awesome.
out to
Awesome.
Quiet Doom. She's been recommending a whole bunch of them on her Discord. So shout out to her.
Wait,
Shout
Quiet
out to
Doom's a
Quiet
girl?
Doom.
Yeah, bro. You
Yeah.
don't see her emojis, dude? Come on, get with it, Thrifty.
Dude, I didn't know we had a female in the chat. Holy
Oh,
shit. There we go. We're making the
oh
big times.
man.
We're diverse now. Hey,
Yeah.
do I
So
get
that's why
DEI
we.
money now? Do I get some
No, you
money for
Hey, you
don't.
that?
should. You
Damn.
should. Hey, you should.
Damn.
You might have to fill
Oh
out.
man.
You might
Wait.
have to fill out a
I got
form.
foreigners. I got a Hispanic dude. I got a black dude. I got man, we're diverse as shit, bro.
We
Like
got
I
we
should get some
dude.
DEI money, man. I should.
We have I think we got a doctor. We got
Oh man.
dude, we have all sorts of people. That's the beautiful thing about gaming. We all come from different walks of
Dude,
life. We
I
all
done
come from
did it.
different
Yep.
backgrounds, and we
Facts.
all got cool shit to talk
Damn
about.
you,
But
Will. You're
Thrifty,
taking it
or I
all
mean
serious.
Henry, what were you saying, bro?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, but as far as back to the point about emulators, that's why I don't know if any of you guys subscribe to or watch like Retro Game Corp, but whenever he emulates, because he deals with a lot of the handheld PCs and emulators. Whenever he's showcasing a game on one of the handheld PCs or emulators, he always has the physical copy of the game in the video as he's holding the system in his hands playing it. Because to what Thrifty was saying, you're supposed to own the physical copy, and so it's not illegal to emulate games that you physically own. You know, shout out to Russ over there. Retro Game Core.
Well, in that, yeah, and you're gonna hear me use that word a lot, though. It makes the person in question don't look like a scumbag. Let me put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
At
Because a
least
lot
I
of these
know the
people
person actually bought it. You know,
they'll say,
I
"Oh,
can have peace with that.
game preservation," but none of these
Yeah, but
guys got a
when
physical
I hear
library.
that, when I hear that from the majority of these people, and like I said, I phrase to them as scumbags. Those are the ones that are the pirating, leeching suckers. They don't have the shit original or whatever.
They don't.
Those are the
They
ones
just like
that
to
shout out the loudest.
they like to hop on stream with their shirts off with cat ears on.
Yeah, that kind of crap.
Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Sorry.
You feel
Oh,
me? You feel me?
so the chat's just talking about losing out on money. Steven said you have a native here. See, guys, we're just checking boxes. I love it.
Oh yeah, you definitely get a check for that.
You did. Listen, I might be white as liquid paper, but I am half Cherokee. I just didn't get the skin tone of it. I got the high
Man,
cheekbones, but that's it. Like
Uh,
I got the high cheekbones, and other than that, I'm Irish. My hair is thinning. I have a little bit of a belly, like, and I'm
hey
liquid.
man,
Like
shout out to that man. My
I'm
my
like I'm
wife
like
is
Peter
is is
Griffin white.
portion Irish.
Like, I am. It's bad. You said your wife is part Irish?
And she's a portion.
That's like my dad, on the other hand, has the black hair, he has the high cheekbones, he has the brownish skin. Like it, he is way more Cherokee than me. But like
Yes,
it's
sir.
it's just, anyways, that was just some funny haha. I know Will wrapped it in and made it all like touchy feely and shit. I was trying to have fun and be funny. But he is right though. Will, you're dead on, man. I love the fact that this community spans so many different types of people, ideologies, so many different types of gamers. Like, like it or hate it, and I'm not going to mention names because that's not the type of channel this is, but we had a bit of a uproar in the Discord the other day. I was on there, but I wasn't. I was at a house when everything went down. I was on right beforehand and right after and missed all the middle. But basically, it was somebody who was calling people non-gamers, saying that people didn't actually buy their games. And when the person showed that they fucking bought their games, they said, "Yeah, but you don't beat them." And then they showed like hours spent in these games, and it was ridiculous. It was a stupid thing. And then other members of the community got attacked, and it was just dumb. And it's one of those things that Will has always said he doesn't give a shit if you play a game on the toilet on your phone and you put hours and hours and hours into that game. You're a fucking gamer. You're addicted to a damn screen just like the rest of us are. Have fun with that. Enjoy it. Don't let anybody tell you not to. I'm going to give you shit if you're a Call of Duty shill. I just am. Because those games are terrible, and what Activision has done to all their other IPs for the sake of Call of Duty is absolutely god awful. But if that's your thing, guess what? Game and tell me to shut the fuck up. I don't care. I loved Outriders. Loved that damn game. That game
I
was
liked it too. I
hot.
ain't gonna lie to you.
Do what?
I liked it. I liked it too, man.
It was so fucking good. I have a character. I got 500 hours in that game, and I fucking absolutely
Oh
love it.
yeah, I don't got that many hours, bro.
Dude, I bought the DLC. I did everything with that. I love that game. And so we all have games that we're like, you know what? Yeah, I may be a little off for this. I don't care. I call them guilty pleasures. Like when somebody asks me what my favorite movie is, I usually tell them it's Top Gun. I love that movie. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. It's not one of the most epic tales ever, but the movie is just good. And then Top Gun Maverick came out, and I'm like, okay, now this is my favorite because that movie is some of the best damn visual effects I've ever seen. Anyways, but like going past that and bringing it back into gaming, we all have differences and we all have strengths and weaknesses. I love that Will plays some of the most obscure shit I have ever seen. And he'll give a quick little synopsis on X, and that'll tell me if I want to put it on my list of games to find or not. Nelson has his hand on the pulse of those 8-bit, 16-bit retro style games, and he's the reason I'm playing Double Dragon right now with my Portal. Like, he's the reason I got Double Dragon because he said it
Shout
was
out to
great.
Nelson, man.
Yeah, shout out to Nelson, dude. That dude has his hand on the pulse of these
Yep.
like old school 16-bit game. And Will plays some of, like I said, the most obscure shit I've ever seen. And he's like, "Hey, did y'all hear about this?" And I'm like, yeah, I saw a trailer." He goes, "Nah, it's out. The game's great." Like, the fuck are you talking about? The game's out. I didn't even know it was coming out. Like, and so we have a community that does that. Then you have people like me who game 60, 70 hours a month. And that's about the max that I can put in. My yearly average over the since PlayStation's been tracking it for the past 3 years is about 900, 950 hours a year. And that's
Mm.
what I am able to do. And
Yes,
you're a
sir.
gamer. You're still a fucking gamer. And so don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Just if you don't like racing games and a racing game guy says, "Well, you're not a real gamer. You just don't like them because they're hard." Look at them and tell them to fuck off. Like, just like
And that's another. I want to throw some accolades to Will. Will handled that situation
flawlessly.
beautifully, beautifully. At whatever point the individual tried to make against, Will had the receipts,
Hmm.
and Will
That's because
games
Will's on
more.
Twitter.
But Will games more than anybody I can, across all the people I've met through the internet, through gaming. He games more, beats more games, and just is just more knowledgeable and humble enough to ask questions about games that he's not knowledgeable about. He was just in there asking about Nier, one of my favorite games. You know what I mean?
Which near?
He's a guy.
No, I'm just kidding. I was there.
Okay, okay. Well, personally, I prefer Automata, but he's playing Replicant right now, you know. But
Automa, is that near Automata?
It's
I
near
just beat it.
Automata or
hey man,
Automata.
listen man,
Automata.
man,
Yeah, I just beat that one.
I'm from the South. You know what I mean? Automata.
It's,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's so funny. That is literally a game title that nobody gets right, and I don't think we ever
Nobody.
will. I don't know if it's Automata or Automata. Both sound fine, and so I don't care. It's really funny
It's
though.
like, bro, I'm gonna
But
keep
yeah,
saying Automata until the creator correct me.
so
If he don't correct me, I'm gonna keep saying Automata.
Will went to bat for the Discord, and I truly do appreciate that. So I do want to
Oh,
go
he
ahead and give
did.
him his
It
flowers
was
tonight.
awesome. It was
He
awesome.
made sure that because I literally I was in the conversation and then I had to actually perform my job. And so like I was so thankful that by the time I got back It had transpired, it had been squashed, and dude left the Discord. And I was like, cool, I don't have to do
Mm.
anything. Will already handled it. That's nice. It's nice knowing, and King Thrash talks about this all the time. He don't fuck with his Discord. He don't know anything about it. He lets other people handle it,
Mhm.
and he don't do anything. He lets other people moderate it, kick people, whatever. Everybody knows the guidelines in there. Who's a moderator, and like he doesn't mess with it. And it felt really good to know that Will had the community's back, and so did Wara. I saw Wara going in there
Yep.
also, and
Yep.
actually,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Wara, poor guy, god dang Australian, I love you, dude. He was trying to play Peacemaker the whole damn time, and I'm sitting here reading everything, going, damn, this is nuts. And so we all come from different backgrounds. I've given different takes tonight than other people have on here, and that's okay. It's totally fine to be a bit different than what everybody else is. It's totally fine. If you know what, if you're part of the reason why Cat Quest 3 is getting made, kudos, man.
I'm the reason. I
I was just
platinumed
about
the
to say.
first one and played the second one, and I got the third one pre-ordered. But I
I
do
was
want to
about to say
say
shout out to
something real
Will.
quick about that. Is look, you if you want to attack somebody, attack me. I just don't like it when you attack. I consider you guys my online friends, my gaming buddies, all you guys. And I don't like nobody disrespecting none of you guys. And if I see that somebody's disrespecting you guys, I'm gonna step in because that ain't right. Attack me. If you have some sort of opinion or disagree, just DM me. We can go at it all day. But just don't disrespect other people for their gaming habits. And I said this on the podcast, like one of my first shows on here with Thrifty. Whether you're gaming on a mobile phone and that's all you do, or you're like me who's putting in thousands of hours a year in gaming and beat 60, 70, 100 games a year, you're still a gamer. If you only play MLB The Show or Call of Duty, you're still a gamer. Now, yeah, am I gonna talk shit like how I did on Twitter and said, "Oh, those of you guys that say Ghost of Tsushima sucks, you have brain rot from playing too much Fortnite and COD." Yeah, I'm gonna say shit like that all the time because I used to be that guy, right? So I'm coming from experience. I'm never gonna say something that I don't know personally about. So like near replicant, I'm playing this now. I don't know anything about this game. I don't know anything about the history, and I just been going on base with Henry and Josh have been telling me, and I asked them questions, and I'm intrigued because I love gaming. And if there's something that I don't know about, I want to know about it because if it's good, I want to try it out. So if you guys have suggestions for games, if you guys need suggestions, that's what the Discord's all about. So we can all talk about gaming, the thing that we like, which we don't have a lot of time for, but throughout the day when we get those 5, 10, 20 minute breaks where we can just shoot the shit, that's what we get to do. We get to shoot the shit, share articles, share opinions, see who's playing what, maybe even find a gaming partner and keep it at that. We're not there to get attacked. We're already getting beaten down by the world enough. Every time we go to the gas station, every time we go buy groceries, we're getting beaten down. When we go to work, our boss is beating us down. Our partners, our kids, our friends, they're beating us down. We don't need that energy for something that we really like doing, and that it's a stress reliever for a lot of us.
hmm That's man, that's so true.
Good
I
point.
view like when I'm on the Discord while I'm at work, and I hope my boss isn't hearing this. They all know I have a YouTube channel, but when I'm on the Discord at work, it literally is like I'm charging up an AC system or I'm checking the charge on it, which takes about 15 minutes. So I'll hop in there, quickly reply to a few things, or if something massive has gone down, then there's 87 messages since the last time I looked. I just ask somebody, "Hey, what did I miss?" And somebody will be like, "Hey, yeah, this is what happened." Oh, cool. People on Xbox or on X are losing their mind. Got it. Cool. Fantastic. And we'll just shoot the shit. Or I'll see Nelson put up, "Hey, did y'all?" I think Josh, not Josh. Will, you played Banishing Hearts, right, or Brandishing Hearts?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you posted stuff in there about that, and I'm like, oh man, this is really cool because I get ideas for what games, like I said, need to go on my list. But anyways, these guys are absolutely fantastic. Okay, I cannot stress enough. If you subscribe to the channel, if you're here all the time, join the Discord. We have these same conversations over there, and a lot of times over there, you'll actually hear us kind of walk through some of these conversations, some of these ideas, some of these thoughts that we have, some of these aha moments like, oh, like Josh and I do this all the time with the Final Fantasy stuff, which I got to get back on. But anyways, Stellar Blade. Uh, we'll have conversations about the game, like, hey, what did you think about this? What? Usually when a new game comes out, I create a spoiler room in there so people can go in there and talk. We have a spoiler room for Stellar Blade, so people can go in there and
Action game
talk.
of the year.
Actually, see, what
Yes,
y'all
sir.
didn't know is that Henry is here as the Stellar Blade hype man, so every time we
Oh
mention
yes.
Stellar Blade, he has to say Action Game of the Year. It's in his contract.
Bro,
He
there's so much I want to say about Stellar Blade, but I know a lot of people haven't beat it, so I just been kind of keeping my mouth shut. But it's killing me.
I
Dude,
appreciate that too, man. I appreciate it.
I
And I
can't
didn't got to
wait.
the point. I got some tidbits.
So
And it
I
I'm
took
got
me
trying to
45
like.
hours to beat it, just FYI. Like, I just didn't, like, go through it as fast as possible. No, I took my time. I did all the side quests. I did every single one. I got 30 something outfits, which I'm pissed because I heard there's 70, but a lot of them you get on the New Game Plus and they're just variations. But I wanted to find more, so yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's the
no,
action game of the
so
year so far.
I actually, even in the section I'm in right now, which is still, I'm not early on anymore. I'm kind of in the meat of the game now, right? I just started eating the main course. And one of the things that I found was a little note. And I love games that let you kind of tempo out how much lore you want. That's one of the things I loved about Final Fantasy 16 was if you wanted to go super deep into the lore of that game, it had a system built for you to be able to do that. And this game also has that. They do it through finding notes and finding dossiers and all this other stuff. And you can read kind of what happened at the time with that person, or maybe a command that was coming down, or
I
an,
love it. I
an
love
or right. And one of the orders I got literally made me go, oh, or not the orders, but one of those little dossiers I found made me like sit and pause and go, oh, that's where the game is
it.
taking this story.
Uh-huh.
I get it now. Oh, this is gonna be fun. And it got me super, even though I saw the end in that little, it was like a two-line one too. It was like dot 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 dot, two sentences, and then three more spaces with three dots. And I was like, oh shit. But that is such an easy thing to miss in the game. And so like
It is.
I'm guessing y'all know what I'm talking about. I'd already met like one of the major players in the game who's kind of the one, and if you've played any of it, you know that you're looking for these oh shit, what are they called? The hearts, the not the hearts, the damn it. The things you
Yeah,
get from the alpha nativas. You're
the
looking
cores.
the cores. You're looking for
Yeah.
these
The
cores.
alpha cores. Alpha
And
cores.
when you go and talk to the person who's like like going to help you find them, it's the whole thing when that little tiny piece of lore dropped. I was like, "Oh, I have to see how this plays out now. I want to know how do I put these two together because it just turned into the greatest mystery of gaming in my mind. I was like, oh my god, I have to know. Now, not of all time or anything like that. I'm being a bit overzealous when I
Exaggerated.
describe, yeah, exaggerated when I describe that. But I saw that freaking note, and dude, I could not tell you how excited I was to go. Oh, people can miss this.
And
I
bro, I was one of the people saying that the story was slow at the beginning of it. I'm like, damn, this story is really taking a long time to pick up. But then I justified it because I was like, well, I'm just doing a lot of side shit and I'm exploring a lot, so maybe I'm just not getting to it. But no, I mean the thing, and this is another thing that I found the hypocrisy in, right? Because for example, like Elden Ring, like one of the things about Elden Ring that really intrigues me. And by the way, I'm a pussy, right? Because I don't think I'm that good, and I just get my ass whooped, and I don't have the patience to go level up 1,000 before I go fight the boss. So I'm like, fuck it. But one of the things about Souls games is that you get the lore through finding the information, right? Like nobody just sits down. There's no cinematic, so you find the story, and I've kind of hated that. But then now that I've matured a little bit in gaming, I'm thinking, well, if you're really enjoying the game and you like flip a rock because you're exploring and you find a bit of lore, like that's exciting, right? And now you're taking that bit of information you just picked up and you're really taking it in, right? Because you've been dry for X amount, because you're getting your ass kicked. with Stellar Blade, and this is where the hypocrisy comes in. Stellar Blade kind of does something similar, where there is a story, right? There is cutscenes, you get to checkpoints, and you get the story that way. But there's also so much lore building and world building by you exploring and going to different areas and finding different things that adds on even more to the story. So it does a little bit of both of best worlds, right? Where it gives you some of that what we're known for over here at Sony PlayStation with the movie games, but then it also gives you some of that lore like how you get in Elden Ring, and it combines the two. So when the last
Exactly.
quarter of the
Exactly.
game comes around, like you feel like y- it sounds cheesy, but it feels like you're the character. Like you feel like you're finding things out as the character is finding things out. Now, sometimes you can guess correctly, right? Or make assumptions, but you still don't know for sure till you come across it. So that is very realistic to me because that's how it is in everyday life, right? You hear something from a friend and then another friend, and then bam, you see it on TV and it confirms all the things that you heard, and you're able to put the picture to it. Stellar Blade is very similar, and I can't wait for you guys to get to that portion where the story to me starts to really open up if you did the work already, and it's only going to feel even more powerful if you did that work. And if you didn't, if you just streamline it, you're still going to get the story experience, just not as good as I think it's intended.
And to that point, when you read the reviews of the game and people say, "Oh, the story was a weak point," I'm like, how? How was it a weak point if you really, you know, and like you really played the game, because at the point I am right now, I've been like finding the memos and dossiers, and I've been I'm actively looking in corners for bodies. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
there's multiple endings too.
Exactly, and I'm like I'm trying to
Oh my God.
really, because I got a general idea of what's going on, and especially where I am in the game
Oh
right
my
now.
God.
I kind of had a guess. I kind of had a guess of what was going on, and it was kind of confirmed. But you know, to say, "Oh, the story is a weak point," like, bro, you not playing, you running through, you not picking up notes, you not picking up memos.
Nah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
If you pick up those there are. It literally paints this. Oh my God, it paints such a good picture when you see, and it's so terrible sounding, when you see a dead human and you pick it up and you see the correspondence between what was a wife to her husband and like her last
Oh
message.
man, powerful,
Like,
powerful.
it reminds you why Eve is doing what she's doing.
Cause it puts you. Cause I mean, I'm pretty sure since we all gamers, we probably more than likely visual readers. Like as we read and we can picture what's going on, you know. So when you read these little memos and whatnot, you can kind of imagine the situation that this person was in before they passed away. And I think that's a real interesting way of telling a story, and especially when you're telling a main story and you're using these little sub stories to add on to it. It's kind of like when it's kind of like seasoning some meat. The meat gonna be good by itself. You sear it up, but you throw a little salt, throw a little pepper, throw a little grill mates on there. It's gonna make it better. So like when I read the reviews, 'cause I actually read reviews, I don't just go by a number. I like to go through. I like to read the top reviews, read who gave it mid scores, read who gave it low scores, and the consensus was it was a weak story. And I just completely, I'm not even done with the game. I completely disagree. And this ain't me, as the young folks say, glazing. I'm not glazing the game. It's just a good game. And the story is not a bad story. It's not weak, in my opinion. You know, I like to say that this is the next gen version or a next gen spiritual successor to a near automata, a near replicant, because it's a similar situation.
All right, guys.
They come from.
I'm so sorry. We have some news that came out that I really want y'all to hear, and then I want y'all's thoughts on it.
Yes, sir.
Shout out
Mhm.
to Josh. So, X. God dang.
Oh man.
Guys, this
Oh man.
show was
Oh, I
supposed to
see it.
be over 20
I
minutes
s-
ago. Okay.
No worries.
Xbox
No
has
worries.
reportedly said it wants smaller award-winning games the day after closing
Oh,
Tango Gameworks. Now,
Jesus.
Ash Parrish at The Verge has
Oh
reported on
my
a particularly frustrating detail with the head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, allegedly highlighting a need for smaller award-winning games in a town hall held with ZeniMax Bethesda staff the very next day to discuss the future of Xbox. Quote, "We need smaller games to give us prestige and awards," employees who were reportedly told, according to information shared with this outlet. A noble goal, sure, but one that flies pretty swiftly in the face of the news that Tango, which had produced a small, prestigious, award-winning game just last year, was put on the chopping block. Y'all are some of the biggest fucking morons I have ever seen, and nobody knows what the fuck they're doing over there. I used to
Thrifty,
blame the fans. I
you
used to
think it's
blame.
still Satya's
Oh,
fault?
oh, no, no, nope, nope,
This
nope,
is literally
nope,
Phil's job
nope.
description right here.
Nope. This is the
Yep.
fans. This is Phil. This is Matt. This is Sarah. Actually, I think Sarah's just trying to keep her head down to get the raise and get the move up in the position because right now she is the
Well,
only one
hold up,
of the.
hold up, hold up.
Mm.
She is going to face the problem that she has to own up is not the right wording I'm going to
God.
use. It's more like she is now kind of like the new kind of person to point at if there's something wrong with Xbox. I see that as a problem. And why am I saying that? It's not because she's a woman of color. Keep that in mind. We're not doing the racial card here. It's more of the fact that the person in front of her screwed up so badly. When shit goes down, they're gonna point to her because she's now in charge of that, right? That's how people are. And I feel that's a kind of unfair. If the problem with Xbox still is clearly, you need to point your finger still at Phil Spencer because he's the one that didn't give you shit all. I'd say the last 5 to 10 years. That's how I feel. But
I
I,
hey,
seen some people
I
blaming her
digress. Yeah,
already yesterday.
yeah,
guys, I'm in
exactly. I
actual
digress.
shock. How do you do like how how do how you have some balls the size of grapefruits to walk in there and look at these people the day after you can four studios who made smaller games and tell them
Yeah,
we really want to focus on smaller
Man,
games with high prestige
literally their specialty.
yeah.
after
You
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 already
can't
said
make
we
this
need to
shit up,
focus
huh?
on big budget marketable IP. Y'all don't know what the fuck is going on.
Like, why should they step forward and make them games so they can be the next ones to get fired? No, I'm
Yep,
good.
yep, and
I'm
yep.
good.
No, Xbox needs to get rid of Game Pass. That's the first thing I would do. Get rid of Game
Exactly.
Pass.
Get
If
rid
you
of
want
it.
Game Pass, it'll be 49.99 a month. You'll get all first party titles in there. If not, that's it. No other option. Or maybe come out with a core like they used to have just for
Yeah.
the online gaming and whatever other bullshit they have. That's if they're gonna keep it, which I don't recommend, but knowing them, they'll do some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Sell your
The
fucking
numbers have
games.
clearly shown.
I think
The
they need to
numbers
get
have
rid of
clearly
it.
shown it hasn't grown in the
No,
last since 2017 up to now. It
well, it
hasn't
did
grown
grow.
its subscription
It did
base.
grow when they
Maybe a
got rid
little
of
bit.
Xbox 4 and shit. That's when it grew.
Oh.
When they
Oh
moved the
yeah,
numbers
yeah,
around. Oh,
yeah.
that's when they grew. No, them dudes are
God.
blind leading the blind.
Steven, you're right, man. You can't make up this shit at all. The jokes write
Oh
themselves.
man.
Literally, I messaged.
Yep.
Credit to Warawana for
Unbelievable.
like most of the thumbnail tonight. I literally messaged him. I was late at work, and I was like, "Hey, man, can you help me out?" And he said, "Yeah, what you need?" And so I sent him two photos, and I was like, "I need question marks by Phil Spencer's. I need a question mark by Phil Spencer's head, and I need a WTF over the cat's face, like." 'cause- and because that's how this
Oh man.
feels. And then this,
Shout out to War, man.
like
Yep.
this, how we need, we, but you just said yesterday that you need to focus on, you're cutting these studios because you need to focus your resources on
Yep.
highly marketable games and IP. Like I, listen, at least when PlayStation fucks me, I know it's happening, and I am okay with it because I'm getting to play a great game. What?
That's because Jim Ryan did his job. I'd
That's
argue,
because
but okay. I'm just saying.
listen, I let PlayStation and PlayStation Network milk me for way more money than I probably should. I'm actually uh, trying to justify to myself right now, even though I have a game that I'm almost done with that I haven't beat yet, and a game that I'm in the process of beating, and they have Assassin's Creed Mirage on sale for $25, which was my price point for that game. And I really want to buy the damn thing. But I'm into this war with myself because I really want to give them my money. And yes, Sony's going to get their 30% because I'm going to buy it digital. A lot of the games that I find on super deep sale that are within my price point, they usually hit that sale on a digital platform before they hit it on the physical side. And so
Yep.
I end up getting a lot of my games that I put at the $20, $25 mark digitally. We all know that. I've never hidden that. I've always said I support physical, and I buy physical when it makes sense and when I can. So, like most of my new games that I purchase are physical copies now. And but games on sale, dude, I check every one of Game Cross's videos. I am all over that thing, trying to find what deal is best, where I can find it. Is this I have games wish listed, and it's because I just want to play good games. And Sony is going to screw me around all the time, but they're gonna give me a good game while they're doing it. You know, they're gonna they're
Hey,
getting
so someone is delivering and someone is not. It's that simple.
right.
Uh-huh.
You can
And
deal with
also, and
a. Go ahead,
also for
Henry.
you buying, no, no, just to your point about the digital sales, you also can get PlayStation Stars points when you buy it digital.
Which makes me
Wh-
buy more digital.
Yeah, so I mean, you gonna get, I mean, you gonna get, they give you something for giving them something. You know what I
That's
mean?
how I got Remnant 2 last
Ooh,
year. I had
fire, another awesome
$25.
game.
I had $25 in PlayStation Stars rewards, and I put 15 more with it, and I think I spent or no, I had 15. I put 10 more with it, and I think I spent 25 on the game or 35. Either way, most of it was made up because of my PlayStation Stars rewards.
Well,
Be-
that's a
Uh-huh.
great point, Mr. Grimm. And dude, the closing of Tango killed two birds with one stone. It got rid of
oh,
exactly what they're looking for, and also their foothold, not their foothold, but their entryway into the Japan market, which is something they've been trying to do for how long now? This is just not good,
Long, long
man.
time.
I don't know how much evidence, I don't know how much slapping in the face do you need by Xbox actions to finally realize that Phil's got to go. And just so you console gamers know, and I'm speaking on the Xbox side, and I'm one of them because I own a Series X, is this is how little they care for us. Where did Sarah Bond come from? She came
T-Mobile.
from
That's a good
T-Mobile.
question.
T-Mobile,
Oh
and
my
she's the
God.
president or the what? The president of gaming, or not
She's
the
now
president
head
of
of
gaming anymore,
Xbox.
head of
They
Xbox.
made her head of Xbox. She got the
So
Yeah,
think
title of.
about
yeah,
that.
buddy.
Think about
You know
that,
why?
Yeah.
guys.
Because the future of Xbox is
Oh
on the
my
cloud, big
God.
Yep.
dog.
And I
These.
also want to
Yeah.
say that I think
boom.
she's hot, and but that's besides the point. We still need her to do her job.
Ooh,
But I just want to throw that in
Yeah.
there. I got a
But
little
she.
crush on her.
peanut butter brown.
But she is screwed though in that place. Or base no no no. I'm saying I'm reading it wrong. Let me correct what I was going to say. The people that support Xbox expecting to get something with her in charge there and view her away from everything. And don't look at her, eh? But look at what they're trying to present to you. You ain't getting fuck all. It is that simple. As an Xbox person, you ain't getting fuck all. You are being screwed as royally and as hard as it can be without no lube. You're being fucked. It is that simple. You ain't getting shit. No Stellar Blade for you. No new projects in the works for you, or Crimson Desert, or any other type of new game that might be on the horizon. You ain't getting shit. It's that simple. I'm not
Yep.
even
Hey,
joking. I'm being serious. Huh?
So Chimp Thoughts asked if he should buy Final. He asked me. He said, "Thrifty, should I buy Final Fantasy 16 or Stellar Blade?" And Chimp, what I'm gonna say is buy Stellar Blade
mm,
now because it's gonna help the studio's initial burst of numbers. Square Enix doesn't really care if, and it's not going to affect them much right now if you purchase or don't purchase Final Fantasy 16. So I would say the one that has the most impact on the studio, and if you're going to play both anyways, I would go ahead and get Stellar Blade now and then find Final Fantasy 16 on deep sale.
Ooh,
If
can I add to that real quick? Because I love Final Fantasy 16. I think I actually like it more than Thrifty
banger.
likes it.
holy shit, clip
Um,
them. Clip him. He said something good
Um,
about a Square Enix game. Clip him.
no,
Go.
dude, I like a lot of Square Enix games. It's just that the Final Fantasy VII is a nostalgic game that
Bullshit.
got propped
Rebirth
up
is
more than what
re
is worth.
bullshit.
I said Rebirth. If Seven was what Rebirth is
Oh,
now,
okay. I
I would
got you.
have never been saying none of this shit.
I
But
got
that's
you.
besides the point. As far as which one to get, I would definitely recommend Stellar Blade. I think you'll get I think you get a little bit more bang for your buck, even though it's more
Pause.
expensive, because
Sorry.
there's multiple endings in that game, so the replay value is tremendous, and also the combat is insanely good. Like, even if the story was mid, like these reviewers say, the combat makes up for it in such a big way. Now, Final Fantasy 16, I also recommend you get, but it's already on sale, so waiting another month or two to get it, it's only gonna benefit you.
Yeah,
Where to
it's
get the discount for Stellar Blade, you have to wait 6 months to a year, if not longer.
it's the same thing that we always say about Ubisoft games. Like if you
And the
want to
yams.
if you want to play a Ubisoft game, just wait a few months. You'll catch it on a super sale. Like just wait. But with Square Enix, I don't think that buying or not buying Final Fantasy 16, whether I think it was a wonderful game or whether I think it was dog crap, isn't going to make as much of an impact on them as it would make on Shift Up. Because we're still within that first 30 days. So especially if they're because there's not a lot of marketing going on for that game. It's a lot of grassroots from what I've seen. Uh, because I haven't seen a lot of commercials. You know, when Helldivers 2 was getting launched, I would see YouTube commercials for it. I would see Spotify had radio ads for it, and it was this big push at the very beginning. Stellar Blade didn't really get that. It got a lot of us talking about it, but it didn't get the big marketing
Media
push. So,
push.
yeah, it didn't get the
Yeah.
media push. There we go, the major media push. But
The one that matters
the
indeed.
one, right. Well, not really, because I think that game has actually sold a lot of copies. I'm gonna say it
Yeah,
has sold
I
probably
think it's sold a lot.
1.5, 1.7.
It must have done a million, right?
I'm gonna say it sold 2 million.
You
That's what
think
I'm
Two
saying.
two?
million.
I didn't want to
I
go
would say
all the
two.
way up there. I think 1.7 is what I'll say. Will,
You
what
know
do you
what?
think?
I'm not gonna doubt the
Oh,
action
dude,
game of the year. You know what I mean?
I I think I usually overshoot with this a lot, but
I
I
do
actually
too.
think it's closer to 3 million.
Ho!
Just
Ooh,
because of
yeah.
the only reason I say this is because of the controversy. Yeah, which isn't a controversy, but I think that the game was well received. I think that it's been talked about and promoted and marketed for, a decent amount of time. They even did their little dev diaries the previous month. There was a
Yep.
demo. So all these things are gonna give it the benefit.
Oh shit.
However,
Um,
however,
Sony, they
uh,
already hit 1 million, by
Oh,
the way.
and Japan loves the game too.
It's sold
So I'm
out over
taking
there.
that into
Yeah.
account. Japan loves the game.
Stellar Blade hit 1 million copies in the first 24 hours.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely three
yeah, yeah,
million, bro.
yeah. It's probably at 3 million. Yeah.
Wait,
It's
what did we
probably like
say?
3
The
million.
first week or the first month? What did we say?
No, first 24 hours they hit a million.
No, no, I'm saying yeah, but what was the question originally? How many we
Just the
think he sell in the
first
first
month.
week?
First month.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, 3 million.
mm,
Oh yeah, for sure, 3 million.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with Will. 'Cause if they
Yeah,
did that
I
in a day,
quick
yeah.
Google search. Like, let's. This is the other thing, guys. There are so many facts about shit right at our fingertips, and you still have dumbass people going, "No, guys, Xbox is going to turn it around." Did you hear what Matt Booty said today? They're actually going to go ahead and focus on smaller games too. Like,
oh my God.
guys.
Right after they got rid
These
of the
people,
studio, they make the
all
smaller
I can
games.
say to these people, again, I'm sounding like a broken record. You ain't gonna get shit, and ah,
Yeah, man, the monkey is out the sleeve, bro. It's out the sleeve.
So, I
it's
just
just nuts, man.
I just want to point out that Sony took. Okay, so I've had this thing in my head that's been just kind of nagging at me. You have Hellblade 2, right?
Yep.
And
Mm.
Sony looked at it and goes, "Well, hey, we can actually split that up. We'll go ahead and give you Helldivers 2, and we'll give you Stellar Blade, and both of those games I have a
Mm.
feeling are going to end up being better than Hellblade 2." It's just it's
Bruh.
a little word thing in my head that keeps like nagging at me. Like somebody said, the sleeve monkeys. the the sleeve monkeys, they're out of their sleeve. They've done they've done screwed the pooch. It's over. It's here. It's done.
Yeah, it's over with.
Like,
I thought I would use that all day today at work,
dude,
bro.
I can't
I would
wait.
use it all day.
I can't wait. That's gonna the monkey's out of its
Oh,
sleeve. I'm gonna confuse
yeah.
so many people. Actually, one of the guys at my
Oh,
church, he's
man.
actually from Holland, so I can't wait to go up to him and
I
just
think
that.
he knows the expression though. If I say it in Dutch, it would sound like the aap is uit de mouw. Basically, translated in English, that means the monkey's out of the sleeve. If you say that to him, he might understand it.
That's so
The
fantastic.
office out the mouth.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
actually a
exactly.
guy who because I hate licorice, but he had flown back in from Holland and he was
Yeah.
eating some when I was over at his house and I was like, dude, what is that? He goes, it's licorice. I said, oh, never mind, I'm out. He goes, no, 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 it's like real licorice. And I was like, what the
Yep.
hell's the difference? And I ate it and I was like, oh, this is actually really freaking good. And he was like,
Hey,
I know.
we got good licorice over here though, and I know it's not everyone's forte, but believe me, if you want good licorice, you gotta be here in Europe,
And
man.
it tastes
Swear to
absolutely
God.
nothing like the
Yep.
nasty shit that Twizzlers tries to give us over here.
No,
It's
no, no, no.
it's super
Ours
good.
are top
Garbage.
quality notch, man. I swear to God, they are top notch.
Anyways,
No joke.
we're guys, I love this fucking show. We go from everything to kids to family to food. Holy crap. Hey, Jez is in the house.
Oh,
Gaming Grindhouse
Shout out
sound effects
Grindhouse.
song Just Wait.
damn right.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Was he here? No, somebody just mentioned him, I think.
Oh,
Knights of the Realm, welcome. I haven't seen you here before. Awesome name.
Welcome to the playground.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the playground. There was somebody else who I hadn't seen in here in a while. The Claymores, Drep SX3. The Claymores, I know you drop in here quite a bit. Appreciate you stopping by. Guys, I know we had a couple other things to talk about. We'll table those for another time. This was a wonderful show. I have to be able to go to
right.
bed though. It is 11:30 at night. And look at
Yeah.
this. God dang it. I didn't tell this to pull up. Watch this shit. And then we'll get to our outros. Watch this. I didn't tell this to pull up. I just realized that I've had a Copilot tab sitting here this whole damn time. I had
Oh yeah.
no idea I had a Copilot Chat GPT tab that just opened randomly. God, I hate fucking Microsoft. Fuck those assholes. That's probably what it
Microsoft
is.
listening.
They're sending some shit to my computer. All right, Henry, since you are one of the guests here, plug your channel, dude. Where the hell can folks find
Yes,
you? I
sir.
love your videos.
I appreciate it, man. You can find me at It's Just Henry Heck on YouTube. It's Just Henry on X and in the Discord. That's where I be at. You know what I be on.
All day, every day, twice on Sunday sometimes. All right, Tornado Screw. What about you, man? You got any socials, anything like that?
Ooh. Well, I got the Discord mostly, and got my PSN tag that you can find me on.
Nice.
Like I
And
have
you
a
got the
Steam
money.
account, but I haven't been on that for years. That's a different story altogether.
One of those sleeved up monkey
Jesus.
things again.
Yeah.
No, no, not
He,
for
he
sale,
put
not
that
for sale.
steam monkey back in the
Uh,
sleeve and said it's gonna sit there.
Yeah, we'll see what I'm gonna do with that though. Oh well. But that's a
Awesome,
story
man. Well,
for another
hey,
day.
I enjoyed having you on. You added stuff to the panel. I really liked that. Thanks for
Welcome,
stopping
welcome.
by, dude.
Sure,
And
sure.
Will, what about you, man? Have you decided to take the plunge to start the YouTube channel? Have you done it?
I've never
He
said I was
should.
gonna start a YouTube channel, man.
I
don't
know,
know
but
why
I
you guys
keep trying to
saying
speak it
that.
into existence. So go ahead.
Uh, Will 777JP on X. That's where you can find me, but you can find me more on the Twitter. I've actually decreased my posting on, even though I'm getting more followers. I broke to over 200
Whew, shit,
this
you got there
week
faster
with
than
a
me.
repost of
Sir.
a repost, which is weird. But honestly, Discord, that's where I'm at most of the time now. So follow us in there, join the conversation. Let's talk some games, and also want to take a quick second and just thank Henry for coming here and Tornado. Like I appreciate you
Welcome.
guys.
Sure.
It's cool to talk
Anytime.
about this stuff with you guys. And the chat,
Welcome.
man. Y'all are always active. Y'all are always like I always want to interrupt Thrifty to answer a question or put my make my input. Like the one about but we released a controller though. Yeah. What was the tagline? Feel the burn, right? Feel the fucking
That
burn.
one.
Hang on.
Follow us on there, guys.
hang on, hang on. Knights of the Realm. I have something that has been nagging at me that's in my head for a minute, and I can have a PS4. I could have went on the internet, bought for some reason on my superior, or but on my superior console for some reason I can't. Bro, you're like in left field, my guy. Uh, that's like speaking of airplanes.
What's he
Um,
talking about?
I have been loving playing Rebirth, Knights of the Realm. I have loved playing Rebirth, Stellar Blade, GT7. But you make a great point about not having a browser. I should sell this useless hardware. That's what Claymore said. Right? Like I'm sitting here like, dude. Here, let's get to a question that actually matters. Henry, what is his X? It's just Henry. Literally,
Yeah, it's
it's
just Henry.
just Henry. That's
Hey guys, you want to know something real cool that I just got right now on my
all
phone in
spelled out.
alert? I got an email from EA saying, reset your password with one click, Will. If you did not request this change, you can safely ignore this email. So what does this mean? Somebody's trying to log into my EA account. Weren't PC guys just
Mm.
talking shit about this with the PSN?
Oh
I'll
wait,
leave it at that.
Oh
wait,
yeah, with
wait.
security issue, eh?
Hang
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
But you're telling me that you
Funny is
having a
that?
dedicated login to their servers, they were able to track somebody trying to get into your stuff and send you an email to kind of warn you
Mhm.
about it, which
That's
is
what they were
exactly what
saying.
Sony said that they wanted to have the ability to do.
Hey, just throwing
Oh,
it out there,
hang on.
guys. But
So
Yep.
maybe it is for security? Maybe.
Interesting.
I don't know. Anyways, guys, that's the show. Thank you so much to the chat, so much to the panel. Knights of the Realm, I was just messing with you. Didn't I don't want to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, I don't really give a flying rat's ass about a browser. I have way too many games to play on my PlayStation outside of browsing the internet. I have a phone for that, and now when it works and Microsoft doesn't fuck up my system with an update, I have a computer that does that. But anyways, guys, y'all have a wonderful night. Shout out to Warawana again for hooking me up with two photos tonight. Shout out to Josh for the breaking news at the end. I might
Yes,
cover that
sir.
more in depth on another, like on a short video or on another live stream because
Oh,
this is some dumbass shit.
I
And
know, I
I'm
know.
gonna talk about it tomorrow.
I'm gonna talk about
Yeah,
it tomorrow.
I wanted
What
to.
today?
It's a shame that you're ending the show. I had something cool to share with you. It just popped into my head, but I heard this from a
Hey
friend
man,
of
you
mine.
can come to another show. It is
I was gonna say,
11:30 at night.
I was gonna say, I'll save it for another show. Yeah.
That's right, man. Great stream.